All right, folks. Well, it's time to take a look at that pick five wager with a guaranteed prize pool of $2,500. Gary and I always map out suggested tickets for you. And, well, we're going to try to get down a winner tonight. Hopefully, one of us can cash a ticket because it's been some tough sledding as of late. But I think I've got a good feeling about tonight. I like the sequence tonight. And I'm going to start off with two singles. Let's take a look at my ticket now. And we're going to go two singles to start us off. And then we're going to spread out and look for a price. In the first race, I like number 2, a Black Diamond. I thought this one's effort on June 19th at Georgian was a real nice one and then came back to qualify well on July the 28th. So I'm going all in on number 2, a Black Diamond in the opening leg. Second leg, going to single number 5, JM Sports Fan. Love that this one gets back into non-winners of 15,000 life after spending her last 3 in the OSS Grassroots program. I'm going to single JM Sports Fan and hope for one of those efforts that you see further down the page here at Grand River this evening. And then we're going to spread out and use a bunch of horses looking for some prices. The third race, we're going to use number 1, SG Alexia, number 2, Brio Beach, number 6, Seal the Dark, number 7, American Rose, and number 8, Smile It's Friday. So number 2, Brio Beach is my top selection. In the fourth race, we're going to go 3 deep with number 1, Sports Duchess, number 2, Happy Looker, and number 8, Randa Moraggio. The 8 is my top selection. Don't do that often from the outside post, but I'm a little bit concerned, obviously, all the way from out there. That's why we're going 3 deep. Then in the money leg, we're going to spread out again, and we're going to use the 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Number 4, JKNR I Like Tell is my top selection. I still think Carson Shadow, number 6 at 12 to 1, has a big chance. We're going to spread out there, try to get down a price, and if we get both of our keys down, maybe this ticket, can pay well. But I'm very interested to see what Gary Guy is going to do for us on a marvelous Monday.
Well, I didn't spend as much money, $9.60. That seems to be my price all the time. But, we have the same idea early, although in the first race, I do have the 1 as well, but I do have the 2 winning it. But I have 1 in this together. Travis Henry for Anita Willett is one that I have a little fear of in this first race. So a 1 and a 2. Second race, where we think the same way. Jam Sports Fan, I think, is the key in there. The third race, I don't have as many horses as you, but I do have the 1 and the 2. 2 is my top horse there, so a 1 and a 2. And then in the fourth leg, I have an extra horse than from what you have. I also have 6, Share the Moment. We do agree with the 1, 2, and 8. You have the 8 on top. I actually have the 1 as my top pick in there, but did add the 6, Share the Moment. Jody Cullen and Travis Cullen, that's Share the Moment's made the top 3 in all 8 of his races this year. He's a solid one. And in the final leg, you went to 5 deep. I've used a couple of yours, the 4 and 5, and I added the 7, Freddie Bear. Freddie Bear is one that sometimes can just step up and be a little more than you might expect, looking for the possibility of a price on the final leg. So $9.60, my pick 5. On the fly, did you figure out how many combinations we have the same? Because I'm always impressed that you would know that number.
Yes, I did, Gary. 12. 12 combinations could put us both in the winner's circle tonight.
I'm so impressed, but hey, I'm easily impressed.
Hey, wow. You know what? I'm happy that you're impressed, Gary. And my ticket's going to cost you $15. Gary's ticket is only $9.60. I'm going to spend a little bit more, but I really felt strongly about this sequence tonight. Of course, we got to get through the first 2 legs going single. But let's take a look at that opening race on the card. It's for Filly Mares non-winners of $5,000 a lifetime. For a purse of $6,500. They're on the pace, and I really like number 2, a Black Diamond. You go back to her last pari-mutuel start. She finished second, beaten just under 2 lengths to Stiletto Blue Chip. But, if you go look at that replay, there was over 6 lengths back to the third place finisher, and she was chasing that one gamely. Came home in 28-1. Obviously something happened. She was scratched sick out of the Kin Pace elimination. Came back, though, to qualify really well on July the 28th for solid connections. Kyle Boston is the trainer. Colin Kelly is going to be your driver. And you know what? 3 to 5 on the board. I'm not surprised. I think she should have her way with this group, especially if she can get to the front end. So number 2, a Black Diamond is my top selection. For second, which is number 4, Wasaga. Thought this one raced pretty well. 2 starts back to finish third, beating a quarter of a length in this same class. Last time, post 7. Much too tough of a spot in a grassroots event. And you can just toss that line right out. 11 to 1 on the board, and Wasaga is a pretty good price. Then in for third, number 1 in this together. I've been a little bit disappointed with this one's performances as of late. Now, she's got the rail tonight, but she had it last time. She couldn't really get away well off the gate. She did get away well off the gate. 2 starts back from the 4-hole. Finished second as the big favorite. I just, I couldn't take a short price on number 1 in this together. That's for sure. 4-1 on the board. Maybe if you think she can come back with a better effort tonight, but I'm a little bit leery about her chances, to be honest. And then in for 4th, number 3, Alessandra. This is one that I think will benefit from the post position. She's been drawing further outside, and we've seen her, be competitive in this field in the past. Trainer Billy Budd, you got Tyler Borth back on the bike, and I think that Alessandra might be able to get a piece fit right now. 23-1 on the board, not a bad price, especially using underneath in the trifecta and superfecta wagers. But for me, it's all about number 2, a Black Diamond, singled in the pick 5, and my number 1 pick in this race with a bullet. Going to definitely be riding or dying with that one in the opener. We got 2 minutes to post. The horse will be on the track shortly, and after that post parade, we'll come right back and discuss it further with Gary Guy.
Field for race 1 on parade. 1 in this together. Travis Henry for Anita Willett and Luke Willett and Gilles Lachance. Number 2 is a Black Diamond. Colin Kelleher, Kyle Bossons, and Brad Gray. And 3 is Alessandra. Tyler Borth for Bill Budd and Frank Lamacchia and Tony Maselli. And number 4 was Sega, Scott Culver, Les Posen. 5 is Pretty Diva, Brought down over Danny Fontaine. And number 6, PDQ, Hanover Austin, sorry for Ryan Stewart and Joyce Ampe and Lisa Stewart. And number 7, Betty on the Beach, Travis Cullen for Brian Dunbar. And number 8, Dash Doll, Dave Duncan for Brenda Duncan. Field of 8, race number 1, first of 10 on a warmish Monday night at the river. And we'll take a look at this field. And first up, we'll look at our top one, Rob, a Black Diamond, 3-5 on the board. Well, off that qualifier is getting a lot of attention, but hasn't raced. One thing to be maybe a little concerned about, hasn't raced since the 19th of June at Georgian Downs, and then scratched at the next start, so has that qualifier. But that race at Georgian Downs, 55-2, really jumps off the page against this group in here.
Yeah, definitely. I watched that replay a bunch of times, Gary, and obviously off that last qualifier, I want to be able to see, that the, I think that she is the real deal. That race at Georgian was a fantastic one, finishing second to Stiletto Blue Chip. She chased her right to the wire, 55-2, home in 28-1. And the qualifier certainly looks like a strong one as well, coming home in 29 seconds here at Grand River Raceway on July the 28th. I really think that she should be able to blast out to the lead and should be able to beat this group.
Well, definitely has flashed some gate speed. So a Black Diamond from post position 2, and gate speed's been the key. 3-5. Number 4 was Sega. Well, raced really well here 2 races ago and flashed gate speed in that one, 28-1. A good overall mile. One knock, though. 9 career starts, just 3 top 3, so it's been light on the top 3. And with Sega's last race here in the grassroots, it wasn't great, but actually the mile was 56-4, just that they went a little too fast for her, so she's back in this maiden class. Sega could surf a little better back in this spot, Scotty Coulter.
Yeah, I definitely think so. That start, two back, I thought was a decent one. Got well spotted, left out well, then got covered up, and then, was coming on again in the stretch to finish third, only beating a quarter of a length. And, last time I just crossed off the page, right? Post 7 against a real tough group of grassroots competitors. So 9-1 on the board. I was kind of, hoping to split the two, of Black Diamond and number 1 in this together, and that's the one I landed on.
Number 1 in this together is my second choice, and your third. And, I'm cheering for this horse with the pick 5. In this together is one that, look, one of my things that I like to look at is I like to sometimes jump on a horse when I expect people might jump off. That last race might get a few people jumping off, but the 2 previous starts, they were fine.
Yeah, I think that this one, for me, the victory was one that was, I would say, impressed me. But a lot of the other finishes, like, 2 starts back, I thought, probably should have been able to get the job done, and did blow up as a pretty hefty favorite. And last time just didn't have any pop after an overland journey. So I certainly don't fault you for going the route of, everyone's jumping off, so it's time to jump on. I mean, that's a solid handicapping angle. You get 40 cents to the dollar, 85 cents to the dollar. Now you're getting 4-1. So I just, would like to see something better from this horse. And like you usually say, though, Gary, when you see that, you won't get that price next time.
Well, also, you get post 1 and Anita Willette, so you get some positives to take a flyer, 4-1 right now. There is number 3, Alessandra. Well, Bill Budd trains this one, and it really has not been impressive the last couple, although has shown some little flashes of that middle half 2 races ago. Alessandra needs to put it together.
Yeah, definitely. I think this one is one that I wouldn't necessarily use as a win candidate, but I would say can hit the ticket. I go back to that first start for Billy Budd. It was a pretty decent one, first over, ended up finishing 5th. Since then, hasn't shown much, but this is the best post she's had since entering the barn of Billy Budd. So I have no problem using this one underneath the 15-1.
And number 5, Pretty Diva, had an okay start here July the 12th, the first start, finishing 4th. Since then, has raced at 3 Rivers and has raced okay and has some gate speed. Brett McDonald for Danny Fontaine. Pretty Diva is actually getting a fair amount of respect, 5-1 on the board. It's a field of 8 for race number 1, first of 10 dashes on this Monday evening. Let's look at the field taking up positions in this together in a Black Diamond with Alessandra on the inside of the center with Sega Pretty Diva to the outside. PDQ Hanover, Betty on the beach, and Dashdall. It's a field of 8. It's race number 1. Field for the first race has reached the top of the stretch, and here they come. Giddy up. Field for the first race is at the start of the rough. A Black Diamond with Sega in this together along to the inside. Alessandra, PDQ Hanover. Then it is Pretty Diva. Back to Betty on the beach and Dashdall. But right now with Sega is surfing hard to the outside and wants to come on and get the lead over a Black Diamond. In this together is forwardly placed 3rd and PDQ Hanover 4th. And then Alessandra, Pretty Diva, Betty on the beach and Dashdall. And now a Black Diamond is going to reclaim the lead, and it is going to be a Black Diamond on the lead past the quarter in 28 seconds with Sega's racing 2nd. In this together is on the inside 3rd, then it is PDQ Hanover who's rolling 4th in front of Alessandra, Pretty Diva, back to Betty on the beach, and then it is Dashdall as the field races their way off the turn and comes on towards us. A Black Diamond and Colin Kelly has a lead of a length and a half, and with Sega's racing 2nd. In this together, inside 3rd, then PDQ Hanover, and moving on the outside goes Pretty Diva. On the pylons is Alessandra, then Betty on the beach and Dashdall. Halftime was 58-2, and it is a Black Diamond, and with Sega's there in the pocket. In this together is still staying on the inside, racing 3rd, and 4th is PDQ Hanover, and then 5th is Pretty Diva, Alessandra, and now pumping out. There goes In This Together on the move as they march on to 3/4. It is a Black Diamond. In This Together with Sega on the inside is still 2nd. In This Together is to the outside 3rd. 3/4, 128-1, and then it is there's PDQ ahead of her, and it is a Black Diamond as they race towards the top of the stretch. 3/4, 128 and 1. On the outside in this together to the inside was Sega, and then PDQ ahead of her. A Black Diamond as they come on down the stretch. Rival Black Diamond on down the lane they come. Up the inside was Sega. It is a Black Diamond of Sega as they come to the finish. A Black Diamond wins it. Sega was second. In this together third, and PDQ ahead of her fourth. 157 and 1. Black Diamond got a little bit of a test in the stretch drive, but was able to hold off with Sega and Scotty Calder. Nice mile of 57 and 1. Well, we're still alive after one leg, Rob.
Yeah, we're still alive. Obviously, 1-5. I mean, for me though, I needed it. Right, it's my single, and I thought that this filly raced up to my expectation. She let number 4 was Wasea come around early, and then came right back around for the lead. And yeah, I think the one thing you have to consider too is she's probably a little bit short coming into this qualifier July 28th. But like you mentioned, Gary hasn't raced in a long while before that, so I think she'll only get better in her next start. And she did do well to hang on there by about her neck.
And then there was a little stretch there that I got a little excited with one in this together, but raced okay to finish third.
Yeah, just raced okay, I would say. And I'll be honest, it's what I expected from this together. I thought that, if Travis Henry can sit a favorable trip and just let her pace in the stretch or around the turn like that, she might be able to get a piece of it. And that's why I pegged her in the third spot. I think that, she, her last couple before this, going into this effort, haven't been that great, but certainly, still raced okay to get third.
Well, we both had the 2 on top and flipped the 1 and 4 between the two of us, but we couldn't find 6 PDQ Hanover at 60 to 1.
Yeah, 60 to 1. Alessandra, I thought might get past that one for 4th. Didn't happen. PDQ Hanover, first start for new trainer Ryan Stewart. And, I would say, a bit of an improved effort for that one, here at Grand River anyways, coming off a win in her most recent. But 60 to 1, finishing 4th might help out the payoffs.
Coming back in front of us will be the winner of race number 1, the first of 10 dashes on this warmish Monday night at the river. There's a look at number 2, a Black Diamond, a 3-year-old better than Cheddar Brown filly, owned by Brad Gray, trained by Kyle Bossons. Colin Kelly is the winning driver. It is the first win for a Black Diamond, 157 and 1. Also note the photographer, Tiffany Chantel, photos by Tiffany Chantel Photography. Those photos, the win photos, can be available about 10 minutes after each race. So you can visit with Tiffany at the photo booth, which is at the west end of the lower level of the grandstand facing the paddock. And that is Tiffany Chantel Photography. The payouts for race 1, number 2, a Black Diamond. 270, 220, 210 for Wasega, $383. One in this together, $250. $2 exact rate, $60 try, $835 super, $66.80.
All right, folks. Well, Gary and I both make it through leg one. Got our single down, but now we've got another single here in race number 2 for filly and mares on the pace. Now winners of 15,000 life. And well, number 5, JM Sports Fan is who we've got singled in this pick 5. And my top choice in this one with a big star beside her, because you know what? She gets back into non-winners of 15,000 lifetime. Her last 3 were against OSS Grassroots Company. You know, last time here at Grand River on Industry Day, she couldn't really close from out of it over a track that was favoring speed all day long, and you can't fault her for that effort. And really, that should actually, you know, bump her up, you know, off that line there for sure. The 2 before that, decent efforts at Mohawk Park, and then, of course, in this class on June 28th, she didn't just win the race; she won the race by nearly 13 lengths when she got away from Salzburg Olympia. So, I think number 5, Jam Sports Fan, is the clear top choice in here. If you do want to try to beat that one, I would go to number 6, Carson Scooter. That's my second selection. And if you look at this one's lines here, same kind of idea. OSS Grassroots, kind of been a fringe player there. And she finished second here in the non-winners of 5,000 life on June 28th with Brett McDonald driving. They get reunited again tonight, 9-5 on the board right now. Carson Scooter is the one that I would go to if you don't like Jam Sports Fan, but that will be kind of my straight exacta play in the race, and the one I'll be using underneath in the exotics, that's for sure. And for third, number 1, I'm Diabolical. You know, has been racing at this level last time, you know, in, you know, her second start, you know, consecutively in this class. She did go to the front and end up kind of fading late to finish 6th, beating 13 lengths. But before that, she had a second in here and did win a non-winners of 6,000 life, you know, 3 starts back. She gets along well with Travis Cullen. And I think I'm Diabolical is one you have to use in the pole position somewhere underneath, whether it be your exacta, trifecta, or superfecta wager. And then in for fourth, number 2, Lady KDB, you know, winner in the Prospect Series last time. And, you know, maybe she can use that confidence to get a piece of it here tonight. 5-1 on the board. Again, just to play underneath for me. But for me, it's all about number 5, JM Sports Fan, hoping to get this one down to go key, single in that pick 5 wager. But the horses are moving out onto the track. We'll come back and talk about it further with Gary Guy after the post break.
Field for the second on parade 1. I'm Diabolical. Travis Cullen for Brenda Duncan and David Duncan. Number 2, Lady KDB. Travis Henry for Paul Cameron and Jamie Cameron and TJ Stables. And number 3 is Century Harlot. Tyler Moore for Peter Brickman and Aaron Swainson Brickman. Number 4, Vanus Cam. Paul McKenzie for Catherine Flanagan. Number 5, JM Sports Fan, Anthony Hahn for Isabel Darvaux and Gordon Redmond. Number 6, Carson's Aguda, Brett McDonald for Louis Gregg and David Carson. Number 7, Sporty Austin Sorry for Joe Pereira. And number 8, Salzburg Easy, Drew Neal for Jeffrey Williamson and Rebecca Williamson and Laverne Turnbull. Field of 8, race number 2. And we'll take a look at this field with Robert Reed Jr. There is number 5, JM Sports Fan, 6-5 on the board. Rob, I expect the price actually be lower than that at post time. And this is one, as you mentioned, what a crushing effort here, June the 28th. And was really fine second to Salzburg Olympia in back-to-back starts here as well. So it's not like that was a one-off. And that last race, you liked that last one as well.
Yeah, I don't mind the last one, right? Because that was on Industry Day, and you know we saw that that was a day you could not close an inch. So getting away 5th, 8 lengths out of it, she tried moving 3 wide, you know, at the 3/4 pole, and it just wasn't going to work that day. It's just you know, a trip that would not work out really for anybody. If you did, it would have to be a bias buster. The 2 starts before that were both good ones. You know, lots of late pace in the mile at Mohawk Park, and then you get down to the lines where she was racing fantastic here. She's good on the track right now. You know, Anthony Hahn, I certainly think will suit her well. And even money is not a price you really want to rush to the windows to bet to win, but I think she'll be very tough to beat.
Number 6, Carson Scooter right now is sharing second betting status, and Brett McDonald driving for Louis Gregg. And As you mentioned, Brett teamed up with Louis Gregg with this one back in the latter part of June and raced really well, finishing second. Carson Seguda, 3-1, should have a solid shot in here to at least be a factor somewhere on the ticket.
I certainly think so. I've always kind of liked this horse, and when she moved over to Mohawk Park off that second place finish, I was actually kind of picking her in each of those starts, that followed. And then she did go up and meet Grassroots Company, maybe a little, tougher than she could take on, but she picked up a couple of checks and finished fourth last time. So here at Grand River, so I certainly think that Carson's Good is the one that I'd want to have locked in underneath in the exacta and trifecta. And if you ever wanted to beat JM Sports Fan and not take that even money, that's where I would go at 7-2.
Number one, I'm Diabolical. We saw this one jump up here July the 5th and win as a heavy betting favorite in a maiden class, which, kind of caught you off guard. But Travis Cullen also, I shouldn't say caught you off guard, but she raced so much better than you might have expected. And the odds were so low that it didn't quite make sense. But Travis has got the key with this one.
Yeah, definitely. Those her two lifetime wins both came with Travis, and she finished second in this class 2 starts back with Travis aboard. Last time probably 27-3 might have been a little too quick for her from the 5 hole. She ended up fading late. Twin B Beach Dreams too was a pretty good winner on that evening. So I think I'm Diabolical certainly has a chance to hit the ticket in here, has the pole position. I do think that she's a notch below the other 2 fillies we just mentioned.
Number 2, Lady KDB, is one that has a couple of wins in the past 3, but both of those were from off the pace. The one start here where she wanted to leave July the 26th, parked every step of the way. If Lady KDB could leave out and get a trip, I think she could actually be a pretty solid player. 7-2 races for a really good barn.
Yeah, I certainly think that Lady KDB's one that can hit the ticket. Maybe land in the trifecta or superfecta. As a winner in her last 2 in the Prospect Series, and of course, last time did get a pretty difficult trip here over land, pretty much the whole mile before finishing 7th. So, I think she's one that's kind of going to get overlooked because I think of the obviously JM Sports Fans going to take all the attention right now, even money, and Carson Seguda taking support as well. But I wouldn't fault anyone for using underneath right now. Lady KDB at 7-2.
I wanted to take a flyer on 7 Sporty, and I put this one on the bottom of my superfecta. Austin Sory's been driving really well of late and has really come on nicely. And this is one that has shown some flashes. Now, didn't look very good in the Grassroots here last time out, but nonetheless, Sporty was 11 lengths back at the quarter. You mentioned the bias on Industry Day. Sporty is one that maybe at 19-1 might be able to sneak onto the ticket.
Yeah, Sporty's one that I liked 3 starts ago when she was a winner by a nose. That was a non-winners of 5,000 life. Didn't really turn in a bad effort, though, last time in this class. Finished 3rd, beating 7 lengths. And I think, better than what the board offers tonight at 18-1 anyways. So I think she is an overlay and one that you might be able to get on the bottom end of the ticket anyways from an outside post at a big price.
We'll see how the second race unfolds as they are moving in behind the gate. And it's I'm Diabolical, Lady KDB, Century Harlot on the inside of the center. Vanderskamp, JM Sports Fan to the outside, Carson's Aguda, Sporty, and Salzburg Easy. It's a field of 8 for the second. Field for the second race. Gathering speed, approaching the start. And the field for the second race is at the start of the route. Century Harlot, Vanna's Cam. I'm Diabolical and Lady KDB. JM Sports Fan leaves out wide, driving into the first turn. But right now it is Century Harlot who's got the lead, then Vanna's Cam. JM Sports Fan continues to march and now is in the 2-wide path against Century Harlot. And then it is Vanna's Cam third, Lady KDB is fourth, and then I'm Diabolical and Carson's Aguda. Then Sporty and Salzburg Easy. JM Sports Fan 1-5 on the board now. Leads as they race on to the opening quarter. Century Harlot is racing second. Vanna's Cam is third. And Lady KTB is positioned fourth. And I'm Diabolical. 28-1's the opening quarter. Carson's Aguda, then Sporty, and Salzburg Easy is back trailing the field. They race off a 28-1 opening panel. And but as Jam Sports Fan, Century Harlots right there in tow in the pocket. Gap of a couple. Vanna's Cam in front of Lady KDB. And Lady KDB is going to come to the outside now, giving cover to Carson Scuda. I'm Diabolical's on the inside. Then Sporty and Salzburg Easy. They work their way on into the backstretch. JM Sports Fan, Century Harlot. They race the backstretch, and then Vanna's Cam, Lady KDB, moving on the outside, and now is coming on and has taken over third. Vanna's Cam fourth, and on the outside, Carson Scuda is on the back of Lady KDB, and then it is back to I'm Diabolical, and then for the back is Sporty and Salzburg Easy. JM Sports Fan continues on sharply by 3/4, 125 and 4, and lets it out a notch and leads by 3. Century Harlot second. Carson's Good is closing. Lady KDB and Vanna's Cam. It is JM Sports Fan as they turn for home. JM Sports Fan, Carson's Good. JM Sports Fan is under wraps. Carson's Good was able to come on and pick up second. Then Century Harlot was third, and Lady KDB was fourth. 154 and 2. JM Sports Fan. Rob, if there's a horse that looked like she could go around one more time, that's the one right there.
Yeah, you can see Anthony Hahn looking around at the mile there, and it's always a good sign, isn't it, Gary, when you bet a horse and the driver's looking around to see if anyone's coming. I love what he did, though. I know the horse is 1-5 and supposed to win it here, but he didn't waste any time getting to the front. He kind of did a delayed leave to get to the lead. And, just make every call a winning one. Didn't really steal fractions, just let her go out there and pace her mile. And 54 and 2, that looks like the horse we saw 4 starts ago here at Grand River when she blew the field away. And I'm really happy to see this one get back on the beam tonight in the winner's circle with a really strong effort.
And Brad McDonald did a nice job with 6 Carson's Good because a lot of horses to the inside of him, including James Sports Fan, left. So kind of dropped back a little bit and then was able to move up as part of the outer flow and get out to wide heading to 3/4. And that was a very solid effort to finish second for Carson's Good.
Oh, definitely. Finished second there, to a real nice one like James Sports Fan. And like you said, he wasn't able to get away well off the gate, had to come around quite a few horses, and was really the clear second place finisher. Definitely the best of the rest in there, and one to kind of tap going forward, because if she can shake James Sports Fan, she should be the boss of this class.
Century Harlot at 21-1, finishing third, and then Lady KDB, your fourth horse, does finish fourth at 5-1. Century Harlot actually is one that outraced the odds.
Yeah, definitely. Got a nice trip there from Tyler Moore. Secured the pocket early and, did well to actually hang on. I thought she'd get picked up by Lady KDB in the stretch, but she did well to hang on for the third spot.
It's a 5-6-3-2 top 4. Coming back in front of us is the winner of race number 2. It's number 5, JM Sports Fan, 3-year-old Sports Rider Bay filly, owned by Jason and Gordon Redmond. Trained by Isabel Darvaux. Anthony Hahn is the winning driver. Second win this year, 5th lifetime. JM Sports Fan, 154 and 2. The second race payouts 5, James Sports Fan, 260, 230, 220. 6 Carson's Good, 340, 320. 3 Century Harlot, 520. $2 exactor, $9, $20 try, $18, $25 superfecta. Well, forget the superfecta for now. How about a $2 double? $6. The superfecta, numbers 5, 6, 3, and 2 on a dollar ticket, $48.25. The second race over a finish from the top, 643-51287. That is 643-51287.
All right. Well, nice effort there by JM Sports Fan to get the job done in the second, and we are single to start the pick five. So now we're going to hope we'll get some winners down, but maybe get some more prices to add some value to the ticket. Gary and I are both alive. I've got the 1, 2, 6, 7, 8 alive, and Gary has the 1 and 2 here in the third race for Filly Mares. Now winners of 5,000 life, and I did go to number 2, Brio Beach, as my top selection. Right now, 9-2 on the board. First time Lasix on this one. And, coming over from Mohawk Park, racing against, much tougher grassroots race, 2 starts back. And now winners of 1 last time from post 9. So not much chance there. And now tonight, obviously, here at Grand River, post 2, much better post to work from. And I think that Brio Beach should have a pretty good chance to get the job done in here. And if you go back to the lines, Georgian are non-winners of 1. They're pretty solid. Finished second, beating half a length, back at the end of June, and fourth before that. So Brio Beach is my top selection right now at 5-1. In for a second, I went to number 1, SG Alexia. I think that this one, obviously pole position, getting back here to Grand River, finished second here, 2 starts back to Be Vanish. I thought it was a decent effort from post 4 on that occasion. And right now, 18-1 is a real big price on number 1, SG Alexia. I think this one definitely has a chance to land on the ticket anyways. Now 21-1. So I would definitely look at this one for your trifecta and superfecta tickets at a minimum. In for third, I went to number 7, American Rose. This one is first time Craig Yates shipping over from the East Coast, and I think that the post is the big deterrent for me. Taking action right now at 3-1, so that's probably a good sign. But I do think that the post might be a little bit difficult for this mare tonight. Does move in a spot to post 6 with a scratch number 5, Tiara Dancer, but I did put this one in for third. Obviously, for the pick 5 should be a good result. But I don't know. The post might be a little bit difficult for that one. And then for fourth, number 6, Seal the Dark, making the transition over from Mohawk Park from non-winners of 1. And, we've seen a lot of horses make that transition from there in that class to over here in non-winners of 5,000 life and do well. 5-1 on the board right now, taking some support. One that I think that certainly, has a chance here to hit the board. Okay, so right there. So it looks like we do have 2 scratches now. Number 3, Just Crazy Enough, also is scratched out of this one, as well as the earlier announcement, number 5, Tiara Dancer. So we are scratched down to a field of 6 now in this race. And well, the only horse that I don't have now in my pick 5 is 4-5. That's number 4, Up the Credit with Art. So that's quite interesting. This horse taking a lot of money in her first start for trainer Jacob Murray tonight. And well, you know what? She put me out of the pick 5. I've got 5 out of the 6 now. So that's a little bit scary, but I'm going to stick with number 2, Brio Beach is my top selection. This is the start of the early pick 4, so do keep in mind number 3, Just Crazy Enough, is now scratched as well. This is the start of the early pick 4, so start mapping out your winning wagers for that one, and we'll come right back in just a few moments to talk about this race a little further with Gary Guy.
Field for the third. On parade one is SG Alexia. Sylvain Grenier drives and trains and owns. Number 2, Brio Beach. Dale Spencer, Ben Hollingsworth, and Kathleen and Clifford Kunfer. Number 4, Up the Credit with Art. Brad McDonough for Jacob Murray and Jim Wilson. Number 6, Seal the Dark. Natasha Day for Cassidy Schneider and Colonel Schneider Jr. And number 7, American Rose. Paul McKenzie for Craig Yates and Jordan McKay. And number 8, Smile, It's Friday. Child of War for Joshua McKibben and M&S Racing and William McKay and David Serwata. It's a field of 6 now, the third race, and there we'll take a look at number 2, Brio Beach, 7-2 on the board. Now, those last 2 races, Rob, both 10th place finishes, and the last one, 59-1. Now, the track was off as second, but getting beaten up in the maiden class. I like this horse on top, but I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, it's okay to be nervous with this one, Gary, off that line, that's for sure. But, let's go to the track right now, number 2, Brio Beach, and now taking a lot of support down to 6-5. So the money's pouring in now on this one. You know what? When a horse has the 9 hole, gets taken back to 10th, and there's a wide margin kind of through it. I know that she did kind of improve a position, then went back to 10th. Sometimes they just don't really get that competitive, and the race went kind of slower to the half and 58-2. So I'm not going to falter for those 2 lines there. I'm going to go back to the lines at Georgian and say those are a little more appropriate to match up to what she faces tonight. But you know what? 3-5 right now. Yeah, because that's getting into the danger zone of being much too short of a price for me.
And this is a filly also that can leave a little bit, so should be off the gate. Unlike the last 2 starts, Brio Beach 3-5 right now, the favorite. Some others quickly. Number 1, SG Alexia, Sylvain Grenier, one that raced really well here 2 races ago, finishing second to be Vanish at long odds. You don't get long odds. Well, that was 32-1, 16-1 now. SG Alexia off a good 4th at Georgian Downs last time out, and inside post one that 16-1 seems a little too high right now.
I think so. I think it's an overlay at 16-1 for sure, mostly because she might get the trip of the race, right? She's got the pole position. She's shown that she has a little bit of gate speed in the past, so she might be able to push out for position. If she ever can sit a 2-hole or something like that, I could see her charging to get close late, and I do think 15-1 is an overlay, number 1, SG Alexia.
Now, I know I should have been checking out the horse, but I love those white wall tires. That looks classy.
Yeah,
anyway,
nice.
you never know what I'm going to notice. Next, let's take a look at number 6, Seal the Dark. Natasha Day for Cassidy Schneider doesn't have a top 2 finish yet, but one that is changing venues, shows enough speed to maybe be a factor.
Yeah, this is one that's kind of interesting to me because we've seen horses make this transition with success. And if you like number 2, Brio Beach, well, you've got to like number 6, Seal the Dark, don't you? Because, in the same class that that one's coming out of, Seal the Dark only got beat 5 lengths last time, after seeing an inside trip and is, even has a 3rd place finish if you go down 3 back to Twin Bee Beach Stream. So, I saw Seal the Dark taking some action earlier on down to 5-1. I thought that might be around the price this one should be tonight. Now 9-1 on the board, and I certainly wouldn't fault anyone for taking a chance on Seal the Dark at that price.
You did use number 7, American Rose, for 3rd. I didn't know what to make of this one with the Exhibition Park and Summerside, but good efforts, but I didn't know how really to think about the speed and the class of horses that she had raced against. But 3 top 3s and 3 starts for now trainer Craig Yates. First start for Craig.
Yeah, that was kind of a difficult one for me to kind of figure out how we map those races over to this one tonight. And I said, well, the one thing she's got going for her is she's one of now only 2 horses in the race that have previous wins, along with number 4, Up to Credit with Art. And I always like that angle in a maiden-type race. And, she also moves in a couple of spots from post 7 now. She'll start from post 5 with the scratches. So, 3-1, taking a lot of support, really. I expected a bigger price on this one, but the support in this case with one that's kind of an unknown quantity coming from the East Coast might be a good thing.
There's number 4, Up the Credit with Art, and I'll keep it private to myself that I'm cheering for number 4 in here. Number 4, Up the Credit with Art, Brett McDonough for Jacob Murray. Well, did win here a few starts back, but hasn't been as impressive of late.
Do you have this horse on your pick 5 ticket?
No, but doesn't matter.
Anyways, I think that up to credit with Art. I'll be honest. 3 starts back really disappointed me. Maybe Jacob Murray can get something else out of this one tonight. I couldn't get to up to credit with Art, and hopefully she doesn't win for my pick 5 ticket. That's for sure.
Just the joy of seeing you be knocked out of the pick 5 when you have all the horses but one horse. I'm terrible. Field of 6 for race number 3. SG Alexia and Brio Beach on the inside. In the center, up the credit with Art, and Seal the Dark to the outside. American Rose and Smile. It's Friday. It's Monday at Grand River. Here they come. They're at the start of the round. Brio Beach is going to leave with Up the Credit with Art. Seal the Dark, and on the inside, SG Alexia, American Rose, and Smile. It's Friday. Up the Credit with Art is going to come on and get the lead. Brio Beach is second. Seal the Dark is racing third. SG Alexia is racing fourth. And then American Rose and Smile. It's Friday. Up the Credit with Art, and Brett McDonald leads it, but now on the outside, Brio Beach is going to come around, and Brio Beach is going to be on top. Up the Credit with Art is racing second. Seal the Dark is racing third. SG Alexia is fourth. And then American Rose and Smile. It's Friday. And they work on around the turn. 28-4 the opening quarter, and Brio Beach has got the lead. Up the Credit with Art is racing on the inside. American Rose is first up third. Seal the Dark down to the inside is a racing position to fourth. And then Smile. It's Friday. And then it's American Rose. Brio Beach has got the lead. And they race their way on past the half. And 59-1, a 30-2 second panel breather. And American Rose on the outside is challenging. Up the Credit with Art on the inside is getting a pocket trip. But now is it dropping back a little bit as Brio Beach drives on, leads by about 2 1/4, and then Smile. It's Friday is racing fourth, and Seal the Dark and SG Alexia. It is Brio Beach who's got the front. They hustle on towards 3/4, and now Up the Credit with Art back on the inside, reclaiming second. American Rose is third. Then Seal the Dark and Smile. It's Friday, and SG Alexia is trailing the field. 3/4 in 1:28, and it is Brio Beach. Brio Beach and Up the Credit with Art. Seal the Dark is racing to the outside third, and then American Rose is fourth. They turn on down the stretch drive, and Brio Beach as they come on down the lane. Brio Beach and Seal the Dark. Brio Beach has got the win. Seal the Dark was second. Up the Credit with Art was third. And then American Rose finished at fourth. 157-1. Brio Beach. Even money on the board as we've had the chalk winning each of the first 3 races, Rob.
Yeah, it looks like I'm Charlie Chalk player too, because I'm 3 for 3 to start off the card. 3 favorites, but I'll tell you, for my pick 5 wager, if Nat Day and Seal the Dark shake loose any sooner, we might have seen a different result in there. I'd literally like the way that that one finished off her mile to get second, and certainly close the margin anyways before the wire. But I heard your voice there, Gary, a few times get a little bit excited with the 4 Up the Credit with Hearts as she tightened it in the pocket position. That would have been a big victory for you tonight, I guess.
Well, a victory of just watching you go down with all of them but one.
Yeah, you know what? That would have been interesting. And it was funny. When the 3 got scratched, I kind of inside said, I know how this ends up. Up the Credit with Art's going to win, and I'm going to have 5 of the 6 horses and get busted out of the pick 5. But as it turned out, I really should have went more of the thin approach in this race, because top selection Brio Beach got the job done. And you know what? A real nice effort from this one. Got to the front and really just kind of had things her own way and was probably much the best. Who knows? I think that Seal the Dark, maybe even if she does get out sooner, I think Dale Spence had some more left in the tank with this one.
Yeah, and Ben Hollingsworth, this barn, has put up some decent numbers, and Dale Spence also some acceptable numbers driving as well. 41 starts and 11 of those top 2 finishes. Brio Beach raced well at Georgian and raced back to that there.
Yeah, definitely. That was the form references I was looking at with this one. Kind of throwing the last two out at Mohawk Park, but both horses finishing in the top two here and doing so handily. Were both horses that shipped over from Mohawk Park, not non-winners in one class. We've seen it prove positive before, and it did again tonight.
Back in front of us is the winner of race number 3. It's number 2, Brio Beach, a 3-year-old Sunshine Beach, the Bay filly, owned by Kathleen and Clifford Coonfer. Trained by Ben Hollingsworth, Dale Spence is the winning driver. First win for Brio Beach, 157-1. The third race payouts to Brio Beach for 32.72.20. 6 sealed the dark, 342.54 up the credit with art, 280. $2 exactor, $9 dollar try, 12.40. Dollar super, 63.15. It's the third race. Order finished in the top. 5-1 scratch 3 scratch 246. That's 5-1 scratch 3 scratch 246.
All right, folks. Well, 3 for 3 so far tonight for the favorites. 3 for 3 in top selections, but not much value yet. Gary and I are both alive in that pick 5. I've got the 1, 2, and 8 in this race, in race number 4, and Gary has 1, 2, 6, 8. So we know who Gary's cheering for, right? The 6. No question about it. All right, let's look at this 4th race. It's for Affiliate Mayor's non-winners of $50,000 lifetime. And I did go to the outside of the gate, something I don't usually do. But I did it in here because I think that Randa Moraggio is, the best horse in this race. I really believe that. She now will start from post 7 with the scratch number 4, Southwind Bayou. Last time in the Gail Murray Invitational at Hanover, left from post 7, got parked a long way first over, faded way out of it. You just cross that line right off the page. I think that's what you're supposed to do with that one. And then you get back to Mohawk Park, now winners of 3 back-to-back victories. Then the lines here at Grand River Raceway, which are also rock solid as well. She did have a start from the outside post here where she got to the lead, ended up fading to finish 4th. But I think that, tonight she might be able to do it, from anywhere, either, on or near the lead or from off the pace. I do think she is a pretty nice mare and has a big chance in here tonight, even with that outside post. 3 to 1 on the board. Not a bad price, really, on Randa Moraggio. And for second, number 1, Sports Duchess, has been racing well in the OSS Grassroots program, as well as, the Kin Pace. She's been hitting the board a lot lately. In her last 5, she's been no worse than 3rd, and one that's, kind of always right there. Gets the pole position tonight, and did get to finish second over a speed favoring track here on Industry Day after sitting the 2-hole trip. But I think she does have a chance here tonight. My concern is, well, she does do well to hit the ticket a lot. She's only 1 for 12 in the season, so she might be a little bit camera shy. 9 to 5 on the board, so definitely a short price on her, but I do understand why people like her. I've got her pegged in for second. And for third, number 2, Happy Looker. If you certainly followed me this season, I'm a fan of this horse. Has not raced since July the 14th, though, so that's a bit of a concern, but does have solid numbers in this class, and, was a winner here back on June the 14th in the class below this. Happy Looker's got post 2 tonight. Favorable post to work from 10 to 1 on the board. I'd be using her to hit the ticket for sure, especially in that trifecta and superfecta wager. And then in for 4th, I went to number 6, Share the Moment. I think that, she's one that certainly merits respect in here. Finished 3rd last time in the OSS Grassroots and finished just in behind number 1, Sports Duchess, in a race that Sweet Pink was a winner. Did have to work against the bias on that occasion, and she just really has put together a solid campaign this season. 3 for 8, and all 8 of those efforts she landed in the top 3. So 7 to 2 on the board. Did not put her in my pick 5. I pegged her for 4th, but I certainly do think she merits some respect in here. The horses are moving out on the track right now for race number 4. We'll come back and talk a little more with Gary Guy after the post break.
Field for the 4th on parade. 1, Sports Duchess. Paul McKenzie for Blake McIntosh and Leanne Murphy. Number 2, Happy Looker. Aaron Byron for Mark Winnicott and Donald Smith and Donna Parker. Number 3 is Cocoa Beach DeVee. Colin Kelly for Daryl Roberts and Mark Kerr. 5 is Wildcat Delight. Brian Donover, Tyler Nostan, and Blue Shoe Investments. Number 6, Share of the Moment. Travis Cullen for Jody Cullen. Seven, She's a Sassy Beach. Scott Quiller, Ken Middleton Jr. And 8 is Randa Moraggio. J.R. Plot for John Kennedy and Valerie Phillips. It is a field of 7. Race number 4. Let's stay right there with number 8, Randa Moraggio. And of course, this is one that you've liked, and I've loved this one as well. Randa Moraggio. We've seen a lot of really good things out of Randa Moraggio. In fact, was able to win also at Mohawk from post 6 and 52 and 3. In fact, got away from here and went to Mohawk and won both of those starts. So not only did she race well here, but she liked the big circuit. 7 wins in the air, 9-5 from post position 8, Rob.
Yeah, she's taking a lot of support from out there, and she does deserve respect. Those 2 wins at Mohawk Park were really nice ones. One of them was from a first over position. The other one was on the front end, and it was a real easy victory, coming home in 27 and 3 with bookend half of 55 and 2. Her latest was against the boys too, right? That's something to consider in the Gail Murray Invitational, and she got a torturous trip. I just think she is the best in here. Obviously, the post is scary, Gary, but 2-1 on the board. I certainly think that that is the appropriate number on one that I think if she had a better post, she'd lay over the field.
On the inside, number 1, Sports Duchess is 5-2 on the board and has the gate speed to get a trip and has been racing in the grassroots, and a solid second here in the grassroots to a horse that I picked on top that race, Sweet Pink, who fired out. Sports Duchess certainly raced well from a more favorable post with the pocket trip, and is one that just might be able to get a pocket ride again.
Yeah, she was second in the Kinpace final at Clinton Raceway on July the 4th, and since then, has hit the board in all 3 of her efforts in the grassroots. She's landed in the money, the top 3 and 7 of 12 this season, has the pole position today, and listen, she's got a big chance, of course, but I'm just worried she might be camera shy. 1 for 12 on the season, and 3 wins at a 23 lifetime. I think you need to use her in the exotics for sure. I'm just not so sure I'd want to take 9-5 on a win ticket.
Number 2, Happy Looker is 7-1, and you mentioned hasn't raced since the middle of July. Certainly put up some nice efforts here, and even that last one, the Fillies and Mares Preferred, at first glance you might think it wasn't a good effort, but actually did finish a solid back half. And overall, Happy Looker is one that you have to take a long look at in here, and you get 8-1. It also did beat Randa Moraggio, finished second in a race that Randa Moraggio was 4th when Randa Moraggio had post 8 in that start. So Happy Looker, 8-1.
Yeah, definitely one that you might want to look at a price for sure. The one thing about Happy Looker is she really wasn't doing it easy either, right? A lot of those efforts, she was either, getting a tough trip on the outside or was sometimes getting locked in. And, I think Happy Looker now, coming back to the races, maybe this might not be the night that she comes through with the victory, but I think it's not too far off. 8-1's a nice price. I think she can hit the ticket for sure.
Now, I know you think I'm cheering for number 6, Share of the Moment, but that actually is not true. I'm cheering for the 7 because Ken Middleton Jr., a member of the Announcers Union and a friend. So, but, if the 7 doesn't win, the 6 would be fine. Number 6, Share of the Moment, is the one that you left out of your pick 5, but certainly this one warrants a lot of regard.
Yeah, I certainly think so. Share the Moment. We're talking about Share the Moment story, or she's
Yes, no, Share the Moment. The one that I want to win in here.
So you threw me off there. So you're a team player when it's the Announcers Guild, though.
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay. just against the handicappers. Okay. Sorry, that threw me off. Number 6, Share the Moment. Yeah, I think that I would say picked her for 4th tonight. One that I certainly respect. Couldn't use them all. 9-2 on the board. Not a bad price. Would I be surprised if she wins? No. Do I want her to win? Not really this evening because I don't have her in the pick 5.
Well, there you go. But Share the Moment, I think, is one that definitely has a solid chance and is being bet down to 9-2 on the board. It's a field of 7 for race number 4. Shaking up their positions. It is Sports Duchess on the inside with Happy Looker. In the center, Cocoa Beach DeVee. And Wildcat Delight and Share the Moment to the outside. She's a Sassy Beach and Randa Moraggio. It's a field of 7, race number 4. Here they come. It's a field of 7 for the 4th. They're gathering speed approaching the start. And Thereof, Sports Duchess and Cocoa Beach TV. Randa Moraggio on the outside. Happy Lookers in the front four. Then it is Wildcat Delight, Share of the Moment, and She's a Sassy Beach is relaxed away, trailing the field. Sports Duchess with the lead. Randa Moraggio continues to drive. Randa Moraggio on GRR is sweeping up on the outside. Sports Duchess with the lead, but now Randa Moraggio is looking to squeeze into the pocket. Happy Looker is third. Cocoa Beach TV is racing fourth. 27 seconds the opening quarter. Then it is Wildcat Delight and Share the Moment, and She's a Sassy Beach. Sports Duchess leads as they work on around the turn and is on top a length and a half. Randa Moraggio is racing the pocket. Happy Looker is third, and Cocoa Beach TV is positioned fourth as they come on towards us, and Cocoa Beach TV is going to challenge first over. Wildcat Delight to the outside, then Share the Moment, and She's a Sassy Beach. Time was recorded in 56-1. Sports Duchess leads Randa Moraggio by a length and a half. On the outside, Cocoa Beach TV. Happy Lookers on the pylons, and Wildcat Delight second over fifth. Then it is Share the Moment, and back to She's a Sassy Beach. They hustle on towards three quarters. Sports Duchess with a lead of a length and a half, and Cocoa Beach TV on the outside. Randa Moraggio is in the pocket. There goes Share the Moment now. Is out four wide, three deep coming is Wildcat Delight. They race by three quarters in 125, and it is Sports Duchess. Share of the Moment is bearing down. On the inside, Randa Moraggio and Happy Looker, and She's a Sassy Beach has kicked in late. They turn on down the lane, and it is Sports Duchess, Randa Moraggio, and Share the Moment. It is Sports Duchess as they march on to the finish. Sports Duchess and Randa Moraggio. Sports Duchess appeared to hold on. Randa Moraggio is there on the inside, and then it's between Happy Looker and Share the Moment for third. 154 flat. Sports Duchess at 8-5 wound up being the favorite, Rob. So a fourth consecutive favorite gets the job done, but rather narrowly.
Yeah, definitely. I was surprised actually this one did get bet down to favoritism late, but I get it. This horse has been close in many efforts, and then does get the rail tonight versus Randa Moraggio's post 8. And I think the race was won, right at the start when Paul McKenzie pushed out and did not want to yield to Randa Moraggio, and that one was able to slip into the pocket there, squeeze into the pocket, as you said, Gary. And at that point, I thought that that was the big advantage to number one, Sports Duchess. But Randa Moraggio, nice effort to get up the passing lane to only miss by a slim margin, and of course Share the Moment with a nice closing effort as well.
I also thought it was key that Paul left with enough vigor to make sure that JR didn't have any thoughts of trying to come on and clear to the front. And they went to the quarter in 27, and that was enough gas for JR to have to tap on the brakes a little bit and find a seat.
Yeah, definitely. That was a big opening corner. And I could see that, Sports Duchess was kind of flying out of there and was not going to be easy to get around. I was a little bit happy, actually, initially out the gate because a lot of them weren't really blasting out of there, and it let Randa Moraggio kind of get around many of them early. Unfortunately, then, had to get into the 2-hole, but still got a favorable trip. I mean, I think tonight was just Sports Duchess's race, certainly.
And number 6, Share of the Moment, raced very well, and Happy Looker fourth. So the four that we talked about were the top four, and Share of the Moment 5-2 was the third one on the board and finished third. Back in front of us is number 1, Sports Duchess, a 3-year-old Sports Writer Bay filly, owned by Leanne Murphy, trained by Blake McIntosh. Paul McKenzie with a win, 8,890 wins, 110 to 9,000. Paul delivers another big load of potatoes. It's the second win this year in the fourth lifetime for Sports Duchess, 154 flat. The fourth race of Payouts. 1, Sports Duchess, 540 to 80 220. 8, Randa Moraggio, 290 286. Share the Moment, 290. $2 exactor, $17. Dollar try, 21.20. Dollar super, 89.05. The fourth race order finish from the top. 146 scratch 7352. That's 146 scratch 7352.
All right, folks, well, it's time to take a look at race number 5. It's the money leg of that pick 5 wager, and well, we've had 4 favorites so far, so the payouts are not, super huge by any stretch of the imagination, but we've got 5 horses alive on my ticket. Gary's got 3 on his, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 4 would actually give us a little bit of a loss on the ticket. But number 6, Carson Shadow, would more than triple our money. Of course, Gary's going to want number 7, Freddie Bear, because he's got that one, and we do not. That one's paying $73 for 20 cents. So, hopefully if you're alive, you can cash your ticket. But if you're not, might as well jump in on the pick 3. It starts in this race here, and race 5, the opening leg of that pick 3 wager. We've got Horse and Geldings now winners of 37.50 last 3 on the pace. And I went to number 4, JKNR Like Tell, as my top selection. And this one actually is the big favorite in the pick 5, but is 9-1 on the board, which really does not make much sense right now. That's why we're going to see that price certainly come down by post time, you would think. And, why did I go to this one? Well, 2 starts back here at Grand River Raceway on July the 14th, and now winners of 1,500 last 3. Was a dominant winner, won by as much as he wanted, nearly 3 lengths on the line of 55-1, and was much the best. Then went back over to Mohawk Park, and now winners of 3,000 last 5, the bottom condition. Ended up getting parked first over a long way before finishing 7th. But really, the Ashley Hensley barn is one of the reasons why I'm definitely, on this one tonight, because in their last 6 starts, they've got 4 wins and a second. The barn is heating up. And I think that, you need to take a look at all of Team Hensley's horses, because they've been racing fantastic as of late. Now down to 4-1 on JK and our Like Tell. And I think this one deserves to be the favorite in here. Lowest pick 5 right now, paying $12 for just 20 cents. In for second, I went to number 6, Carson Shadow. That's the one that would actually get us more than 3 times your money, paying $49 for 20 cents. And, well, and the Gail Murray ended up making a break in stride in the stretch. Was in 3rd at the time, ended up fading to 7th because of that miscue. But, Carson Shadow is one that, we've seen race well in the preferred here, finishing 2nd, at a long price here at a sports line. And then, didn't race too badly in his next effort when he finished 5th. So I think that Carson Shadow is definitely one you want to look at if he can go off at a number. But 3-1, now 7-2 is not much value on him, but I think he's definitely got a big chance to land somewhere underneath. And I thought 12-1 in the morning line might be ambitious, but he should still be around 6-1, I would think, come post time. And I think Carson Shadow is one that certainly merits some respect in here. And for third, number 2, Osborne Sealster. This horse is loaded with speed. Last time won at Hanover. Should be a confidence boost for this one. And now winners of 1,500 last 3. Now moving up to face tougher, but draws inside. Gets to go back on the Lasix program, not being able to use it at Hanover last time. Picks up Colin Kelly in the bike. We know Colin can certainly get them off the gate. So Osborne Sealster is one that I think you need to use just because inside speed, and can certainly hit the ticket. Number 3, Blue Moose. Well, no stranger to hitting the ticket for this one, or winning for that matter. 26 wins lifetime, and a nice post to work from in post 3, 4-1 on the board. Another one that I think has a big chance to land somewhere on the ticket. But the Pacers are making their way onto the track. We'll come back in just a few moments to talk about it more with Gary Guy.
Field for the 5th on Parade 1 would be a Roland Pop. Nick Boyd for Tom Riley and Amanda Riley and Steve McGill. Number 2, Osborne Sealster. Colin Kelly for Ted McDonnell and Leonard Gamble. Number 3, Blue Moose. Anthony Hunt for Isabel Darvaux and Robert Shepard. 4 is JKNR Like Tell. Eddie Hensley for Ashley Hensley. 5 is Easton Beach. George Ketros for Mary Ketros. Number 6, Carson's is Shadow Brent Padana for Vicky Gregg and David Carson. And number 7 is Freddie Bear. Jason Ryan for Numbered Company. And it is St. Lad's Thriller, Travis Cullen for Jody Cullen and Rebecca Williamson. Field of 8, race number 5. The final leg of the Pick 5 starts the Pick 3. Let's look at this field. And, well, right now, Rob, we both like number 4, JKR Lytel, as the one to beat. You mentioned the Hot Barn, but I've liked Eddie Hensley and Ashley Hensley, that tandem, for quite a while. Certainly the barn has come on nicely of now, but they've done some nice job overall for a while, and called this one a lot at Flamborough Downs, getting the job done as well. This one raced well here 2 races ago. Really sharp effort in 55-1. I expect this one to bounce right back.
Yeah, I think so too. And right now it looks very sharp on the track, that's for sure. Looks like he's ready to go a big mile tonight. And that start, 2 efforts ago was a big one. Won by as much as he pleased, and it was really just a formality once he made the front end. And obviously this is a tougher group than he faced on that evening, but I don't think that it's out of his reach by any stretch of the imagination. I expected this horse to be around 7-5 or 8-5 in here, and now 3-1. That price is starting to correct itself, I think.
Number 6, Carson Shadow, is 5-1 on the board, and is one that Ken Middleton's top pick in here. And Carson's Shadow is one that won at Hanover a couple of times in June. Those miles, 57-3. Hanover's not as fast as it is here. Carson's Shadow has shown some nice things. Now look at that last race. Made a break late, and the start before it, the equipment break, well, that's not his fault. And you do see this one racing really well here. Preferred 2 class, just 3 back. And also look at second to Sportsline. That's a really good measuring stick.
Oh, definitely. Sportsline would be, 1 to 5 in here, at best. And, this one right now at 8-1, I thought maybe 6-1 would be the area you're getting value on Carson Shadow. Now 9-1. So, definitely some value on Carson Shadow in here. And I would not be surprised if this one got it done. He's the one that's paying the most out of my horses alive in the Pick 5. And only one out of the 2 of us paying more is Freddie Bear for $73 for your ticket.
Number 2, Osborne Sealster, is 3-1 on the board. Colin Kelly. And I'll be honest, this is a horse that I can never figure out. He races well when I don't expect, and I don't really know how to handicap him. He certainly has back class and was a good one younger in his career. But he, on his best day, can race really well. 3-5 is way overdoing it.
Yeah, 3-5 is much too short of a price on Osborne Sealster. He's loaded with early speed when he wants to use it. I think it might be his best chance tonight from post 2 with Colin Kelly. And last time utilized that speed at Hanover to get a confidence boost, and now winners at 1,500 last 3. But, that's a pretty far cry from this group, I would think. I think, he faces much tougher this time around, and he'll get a stiffer challenge. 4-5 is too short. I like him on the ticket, but certainly not at a win price of that number.
Number 3, Blue Moose, is one that raced better at Dresden last race. Racing here was just a bit of a fringe player, but also didn't have good posts in many of them. The one good post you see raced to a third here. Blue Moose and Anthony Hahn, you get a bit of a price at 10-1.
At 10-1 seems like a big number on Blue Moose for me, especially if you like him in the exotics. If that price holds up, on the bottom end of those. He's been racing, in this class and, picking up minor awards, but a lot of those posts are from the outside, post 8, post 5, post 6, now post 3. I would not be surprised if Blue Moose hit this trifecta ticket or maybe even sneaked into the exact, 10-1 on the board seems like a big number on Blue Moose.
Talk about a big number. 7, Freddie Barrett, 50-1 on the board. Look at this one, was second in the preferred 2 and 3 handicap twice in June. And Freddie Bear is one with back class. Post 7 I know is a tough outing, but 50-1.
Yeah, I think Freddie Bear deserves more respect than that for sure. He's performed well in the preferred here. Difficult post to work from, but 50-1, one you can certainly use underneath.
And you can't fault me for cheering for Freddie Bear, as I have that one alive in my Pick 5, one of 3 horses. But we both like 4, JKR Lytel. And now is 5-2 on the board. Second choice to the 4-5 to Osborne Sealster. Widmer, Roland, Pop, and Osborne Sealster on the inside with Blue Moose in the center. JKR Lytel and Easton Beach to the outside. Carson's Shadow, Freddie Bear, and St. Lad's Thriller. Field of 8, race number 5. Here they come. Field for the 5th race He is at the start and the rough. Woodmere Rolling Palm, Osborne Sealster, and then but is JKR like telling. Down to the inside is Blue Moose, and then Easton Beach and Freddie Bear. Then it is back to Carson's Shadow and St. Lad's Thriller. Into the backstretch they go. Osborne Sealster has come on to take the lead. Osborne Sealster, JKR like tell. Now even money is working on the outside. It now is going to take back and find the seat back on the inside third. Woodmere Rollin' Pop's going to roll in the pocket. JKR like tell is racing third. Blue Moose is fourth, and then Easton Beach is fifth. A lively opening quarter. 26-4. The trailing three are well back. Freddie Bear, Carson's Shadow, and St. Lad's Thriller. And they race off the turn. Osborne Sealster and Colin Kelly doing the heavy lifting in this one on the lead. Woodmere Rollin' Pop. Here comes JKR like tell now. Up and driving first over. Blue Moose follows to the outside. Then Easton Beach and Carson's Shadow. And Freddie Bear and St. Lad's Thriller. For the inside and for the outside. As the field works into the backstretch, Osborne Sealster, lead of about a length and a quarter, chipping away on the outside. JKR Lichtel. Woodmere Rollin' Pop is third, and then to the outside, Blue Moose, and on the inside, Easton Beach. And now Carson's Shadow rolls a little bit wide, and then it is back to Freddie Bear and St. Lad's Thriller. JKR Lichtel now has come on to take a lead and grab it from Osborne Sealster, and Blue Moose is an advancing third. Woodmere Rollin' Pop, then Carson's Shadow, St. Lad's Thriller, and Freddie Bear and Easton Beach. The field turns for home, and that is Osborne Sealster. Osborne Sealster, JKR like tell, and on the inside, Freddie Bear. They come on down the stretch drive. Osborne Sealster has reclaimed the lead up the inside. Freddie Bear up the inside is flying up the passing lane. JKR like tell. It's close. JKR like tell on the outside, I think, out there. Freddie Bear up the inside, and Osborne Sealster in the center. 154-1. It's a photo finish.
I bet that got your heart pumping there, Gary. Guy with Freddie Bear up the cones there.
I thought he was going to get there, but I don't think he did. I think that actually coming back was JKR like tell. Here is your look at the finish. Yeah, the 4 was able to get up and win.
Yeah, I agree. It certainly gave you a bit of a thrill, though, and anyone else who played Freddie Bear at 35-1 because he was flying up the pylons, and it looked like JKR like tell, kind of got to the lead around the final turn, and then kind of lost position there and dropped back a little bit. So interesting that he came back on to win. I guess just showing his class at this level to still get the job done and win by a slim margin on the wire.
And Osborne Sealster went off 9-5, wound up as the second choice as JKR like tell came all the way down to even money. Osborne Sealster did a lot of work and put up some serious fractions. You have to like that one next time out.
Yeah, I think so too. I could see early on that Colin Kelly was not going to let JKR like tell go. I saw Hensley move to the outside, and he was going to try to drive on for the lead early, but Colin Kelly's certainly didn't take a hold with the scores going 26-4, then 56 flat. Relegated this one back to the 3-hole before coming first over again. And again, I was very surprised to see this one come back to win because I thought on the turn when he started to back away that that might have been his race, but came back to win, and a nice solid effort by JKR like tell to still get the job done.
I thought it was really smart too of Eddie because sometimes when you pop out, you can get a little stubborn and try it, but he very quickly changed his plan of attack.
Yeah, he was very quick to take a hold again and go back to the 3-hole. I think he saw that this was not going to work out because Colin Kelly, was still had the foot on the accelerator, and they would have won a really big half if he tried to vie for the lead. So slick move to drop back into the 3-hole and then still end up coming back around for the victory.
I think now you see why I used the 7 third on my ticket and in the pick 5.
Oh, definitely impressive, Gary. And you know what? For anyone listening out there, they might be able to get a nice exactor trifecta with Freddie Bear landing second at 35-1.
He just seems to always outrace his odds, or at least a lot of times when I'm calling him. And also, nice job by Jason Ryan to stick handle him through traffic and to show the patience. Back in front of us, it's Hurricane Eddie Hensley with 4 JKR like tell, a 5-year-old Tell It Like It Is, Babe Ridgeling. Owned by Ashley Hensley and Eddie Hensley. Ashley Hensley, the trainer. Second win this year, 10th lifetime, JKR like tell, and Hurricane Hensley. 154-1. The fifth race, payouts for JK&R Lightel for 30, 322.40. 7 Freddie Bear, $14.05.80, and 2 Osborne Sealster, $2.70. The dollar pick 5. 5 of 5, 60.40. The $2 exactor, $63.50 try 100, 45.35. The dollar super, $1,469. The fifth race order finish from the top. 83517624. That's 83517624.
All right, folks. Well, it's time for race number 6. It's our first of 2 preferreds this evening on the pace. This one a preferred 3 for horses and geldings. And, well, it's our carryover of the Super High 5. $5,053 came into this one, and now almost $2,000 of new money has already been wagered, and there's still plenty of time for more to come in. I think this is a very, very competitive field, a very tricky contest, but I going to go looking for a bit of a price here, and that's number 9, Exit Smiling on top. 20 to 1 on the board right now. This one, last two starts here at Grand River in the preferred three, same class, post 7 in each of them. Not much chance from there. Got away 8th and 9th off the gate in those two races, respectively. And you know what? I just think that if you go further down from post 9, this same post, 4 starts back in the upper condition, got the job done by a neck, and actually won 2 in a row, pacing 54-1 in that effort. And I think that, you know what? One that might have a bit of a sneaky chance tonight. I see him, it looks like I'm lone wolfing it with Exit Smiling. Well, I see Ontario Racing actually put this one in the 4th spot. But 25-1, I'll take a chance on this one tonight. Exit Smiling to get away well from the trailing post. Has a nice one to follow, I think, off the gate, and might be able to get there at a price. Number 6, Premier Joy, is my second selection for Team Hensley. And number 1, Mercenary, I picked for third because if you like the 1, you gotta like the 9. If you like the 9, you gotta like the 1. And then in for the 4th spot, number 2, Moneyman Hill, currently at even money. A little bit leery on this one, though. Has not been in the best form lately, although has been racing at Mohawk Park in the non-winners of 3,000 last 5, now winners of 5,000 last 5. Then the 5th spot, number 4, Pembroke Legacy, I think should also have a good chance to hit the ticket. But I see the horses are moving out onto the track for the 6th race and our super high 5. And Gary and I will come back and cover this one a little further for you before they head postward.
Field 4, race number 6 on parade. 1, Mercenary, George Ketros for Mary Ketros. Number 2, Moneyman Hill, Jared Plot for Dwayne Marfisi and Aaron Waxman at Fox Racing. Number 3 is White Cookie, Scott Culver, Tony O'Sullivan and Pollock Racing. And the 4 is Pembroke Legacy, Lauren House for Samuel Taylor. 5 is not there, but 6 is Premier Joy, Eddie Hensley for Ashley Hensley. And 7, Shades of Bay, Brett McDonough for Joe Pereira and Maple Leaf Racing. Number 8, Life is Better, Paul McKenzie for Ken Matheson and Henry Bankowitz. 9 is Exit Smiling, Austin Sorry for Stefan Larocque and Pierre Strasbourg. And there is 5, Paparazzi Hanover, Travis Cullen for Jody Cullen and Keith Hanna. Field of 9, it's the Super High 5, the Pentafecta. Let's get a look at this field for the 6th race. And, well, Rob, right away, we're going to go to number 9, Exit Smiling, because if this one can get home, I think you're going to get a price. I don't see this one dropping much below. I think the lowest would be maybe around 7 or 8 to 1. Exit Smiling, 14 to 1. One that, well, I liked it 9 to 1 a few starts back to get the job done here. Exit Smiling in Austin. Sorry, Austin's been driving very well of late.
Yeah, looks good on the track as well. And I was hoping for around 15 to 1. Right now we're getting it at 18 to 1. I just think that, we got to go in to follow with number 1, Mercenary. That one usually leaves out in these spots. I don't see George Ketros giving up too many spots off the gate tonight with Mercenary. So Exit Smiling should get away well enough. Looks gets away maybe mid-pack even. I think it should have a chance in here. You throw out the last 3, post 7, then post 8 at Mohawk Park. The lines are pretty solid here at Grand River. I think this is a very difficult race, and I want to be on the side of a price, and I thought Exit Smiling might be the right way to lean.
Number 4, Pembroke Legacy, took a lot of money early and now has moved back up a little bit to 7 to 2. Doesn't have a win yet this year, but did win here last year in 53-3 and won 6 of 15. Pembroke Legacy at times has looked really, really good, and you do see some 51 and change action. In fact, some competitive miles back in June at Mohawk.
Yeah, I put this horse in for fifth, and I thought that Pembroke Legacy probably should have won the Gail Murray Invitational Hanover. With the trip that he ended up getting. I know Sir Pugsley is always tough in those spots, especially be able to close off a second over trip. But Pembroke Legacy, still finished second in there, and I just think that he's more of a land on the ticket horse for me. In here in this spot, 7-2 in the board right now. I'd probably put this horse in finishing in the third spot or even for fourth or fifth. But I certainly respect the horse. I just think that this is a pretty deep field tonight.
There's 6 Premier Joy, and one that maybe we could see Eddie Hensley with the 2 on the night.
Yeah, I put this horse in for second. So right now my top 2 selections are 11-1 and 18-1. Which is, and that's actually somewhere I want to be, right? We want to get some value sometimes. And Premier Joy, I think, finished second, beaten 3/4 of the length in this race 3 starts ago. Hensley Barn has been red hot lately, and we just saw them get a win. I would not be surprised if this one somehow found the winner's circle tonight, and 17-1 is a giant price.
Number 2, Moneyman Hill is Ken Middleton's top pick. Gets a good post position. J.R. Plant can get one off the gate. Might beat Mercenary to the front. Moneyman Hill is one with some backlash. Big-time earner last year as a 4-year-old.
Oh, definitely. This horse has back class. Ended up, finishing on the ticket in the North America Cup, and is one that is, having a difficult season this year. We'll say 0 for 12, hit the board in 5 of those, only $10,000 made, and that's really why I put this horse in for fourth. I know this horse is going to take money, and if he comes back to his former self, he's much the best in here, but. I get worried when horses kind of fade to finish fourth or constantly kind of finish as a peripheral horse, even in maybe tougher spots. He might just do that again tonight. 4 to 5 for me is much too short of a price, but would I be surprised if he won? Absolutely not.
Number 5, Paparazzi Hanover is the one that I used for second, and I just can't get the image of that last effort from Paparazzi Hanover out of my mind. He looked really good.
Oh, yeah, he looked fantastic on that occasion. He was buzzing around the track. He had a bow in his neck, and, we kind of commented that beforehand. 8-1 on the board, taking some support. I left this horse off my high 5 ticket, but, would I be surprised if he made his way onto it? Not at all.
It is a field of 9 for the 6th race. The Pentafecta, the Super High 5, taking up their positions. Mercenary, Moneyman Hill, and White Cookie on the inside of the center. Pembroke Legacy, Paparazzi Hanover to the outside. Premier Joy, Shades of Bay, and Life is Better, and Exit Smiling. Rob's top pick at 13-1. Mine for Pembroke Legacy now has dropped to 4 to 5. It's a field of 9 for the 6th race. They're at the top of the stretch, and here they come. Field for the 6th race is at the start of the round. Moneyman Hill, Mercenary, White Cookie, and then Pembroke Legacy. And on the inside, Exit Smiling gets out well, and now is taken third, as making the front is Moneyman Hill, then Mercenary second, Exit Smiling third. White Cookie's racing fourth, Pembroke Legacy fifth away. Then Paparazzi Hanover and Premier Joy, Shades of Bane, Life is Better. They race on to the opening quarter. Moneyman Hill and J.R. Plant's got the lead. Mercenary at 30-1, filling the pocket. Then third is Exit Smiling. White Cookie is fourth away. Pembroke Legacy, mid-pack fifth in front of Paparazzi Hanover. 28 seconds, the opening quarter. The trailing 3, Premier Joy, Shades of Bay, and Life is Better. They work on around the turn. Moneyman Hill has the lead for J.R. Plant. The advantage is about a length and 3/4. Mercenary and George Ketro second, and there goes Exit Smiling, who's exited the pylons and is coming on now, challenging first over. White Cookie follows that one's flow on the outside. Up the inside, Paparazzi Hanover. Pembroke Legacy advancing to the outside sixth, and then it is back to Premier Joy, Shades of Bay, and Life is Better. Halftime was 57-1. Moneyman Hill is leading it. On the outside, Exit Smiling as they work their way on into the backstretch, and on the inside, Mercenary. Then White Cookie is now taking a look out wide, and here comes Pembroke Legacy now, and rolled out 4 wide, is getting 3 wide is White Cookie, and then Paparazzi Hanover, but Moneyman Hill has got a nice lead of about 3, and now White Cookie is coming on and has a share of second. Mercenary to the inside, sharing second, and Pembroke Legacy Legacy is out very wide and charging 4 wide, now 3 wide around the turn, as backing away as Exit Smiling, and on the inside Paparazzi Hanover. Money Man Hill on down the stretch drive they come. Money Man Hill was money in the 6th race to win it, and then for second the battle is on, and it goes to Pembroke Legacy. Then it was Mercenary, and close between White Cookie and Paparazzi Hanover. 153 and 1. Money Man Hill, well, the early speed was the key there and just kept that speed going, Rob.
Yeah, definitely. You know what? I put this horse in for 4th. I was a little bit concerned about the season he's been having, but you know what? I guess he just needed to get over here to this spot, and GRR got him off the gate, got him to the lead, and 28 seconds flat's a pretty soft quarter, for this group and this horse, that's for sure. But you can see right here the lines coming to the wire are tight for GRR, and this might be what Moneyman Hill needs to get back on the beam and back head in the right direction. Winless in the season before this effort, but that was a big win there, and 53 and 1 couldn't have been easier for this one.
That certainly should sharpen him back up, and certainly JR can get one off the gate as well. Pembroke Legacy had a lot of work to do. Went out very wide around that final turn to come on and snag second. And then Mercenary, the one horse you liked that would leave a bunch and to be well spotted, was able to stick around for, I think, third. We'll see if that's what it is.
Yeah, he did stick around for third. I was actually hoping he'd hang on for second. That big price there at 30 to 1. Listen, he's a horse that, when he can get away well in this class and set a trip, he can always get a piece of it. Pembroke Legacy got around him after a difficult journey from way out of it off of a, fairly, soft half and 57 to 1, really. But as it turns out, Gary, we always talk about inside numbers, 2, 4, 1, 3, 5. I got a little bit creative in this one, looking for some prices, but I guess if you just went with the favorites and the inside numbers, you could cashed the ticket.
Coming back in front of us will be number 2, a Money Man Hill, a 4-year-old Some Beach Somewhere, Bay Gelding, owned by Aaron Waxman and Fox Racing. Dwayne Marfisi is the trainer. J.R. Plant, the winning driver. It's the first win this year, 8th lifetime. Money Man Hill, 153 and 1. The sixth race payouts to Moneyman Hill, $643, 310 for Pembroke Legacy, 250, 230. One Mercenary, 760. $2 exactor, 930. Dollar try, 59.35. Dollar win for 32.15. And the dollar high five, 1867.10. The sixth race. Order of finish from the top. 314-258-679. That's 314-258-679.
All right, folks. Well, that was a nice payout for that super high five. And thanks for playing along. We had over $18,000 of new money wagered into it. And congrats to those who did cash that ticket. We're moving on to race number 7, though. It's the start of our late pick 4 wager. So start mapping out your winning tickets for that one there. This is for Philly and Mares Claimers. $7,000 is the price tag on the pace. And in this one, I went to number 6, Dry Creek Image. And, I saw 4-1 in the morning line, and I said, we're probably not going to get that on this one. Down to even money right now. I was hoping for a better price than that. Last time in a straight 7 claimer over at Georgian Downs, did go an overland journey to finish 6th, but was second here to If You Knew Susie in this class just 2 starts ago. And I think the Dry Creek Image is one you always have to consider at this level here at Grand River Raceway, even with that outside post. And, we've seen her do well in this class before. So 6-5, not the great price, but is my top selection. And for second, number 3, Tater Tots for Paul McKenzie. And, this one, finished 9th last time, but had post 9 at Georgian Downs. That's a tough post to operate from there or anywhere, really. Now drops down to the $7,000 level. Has raced here in the past, at Georgian anyway, $7,000 into claiming condition, won by a neck on that occasion. I think the Tater Tots, the class relief certainly makes her a factor in here, 9-5 on the board, like that one in for second. Number 1, April Bandit, gets back to Grand River Raceway. And, last time, did fare too well after getting the early lead at Dresden, but, has raced well here in the past at Grand River. I think that she'll like the pole position tonight. 5-1 on the board, not a bad price there. And then Midnight Surf on the bottom end of it for me, number 5, 7-1. But I see that the horses are already coming out onto the track, so we'll come back and talk about race number 7 a little further with Gary Guy after the post break.
Field for the 7th on parade. 1, April Bandit, Scott Coulter, Paul Coulter. Number 2 is Edom's Drama, Travis Cullen for Michelle Bowen and Felix Racing. 3, Tater Tots, Paul McKenzie for Sue McKenzie. 4 is Heartbeats and Sizzle. It's Nick Boyd for Bruno LaCroix and Wayne Smith. 5 is Midnight Surf, Brett Madonna for Todd Ratchford and ECS Racing. And 6 is Dry Creek Image, Austin Sorry for Joe Pereira. Field of 6, race number 7. We get a compact field and, a night of short prices. And if you have the right one here in this race, Rob, it's going to continue because 3-5 with Dry Creek Image. Not my top pick, my second one. And the only thing I held against her was outside post position, and I'm not sure if where she's going to get positioned early going. How do you see it playing out?
That's the big question, isn't it, Gary? I don't know if she's got the speed to kind of get around them all off the gate, but I don't think this is a race that has a lot of early speed in it. I think that it's more likely that she might, try the delayed move type, tactics, or maybe even get away and then kind of rush at them. She's raced well from a first over position. We've seen that many times, and Austin Sorry is someone who's proficient at making that move. He tried it last time with Exit Smiling. It didn't work out in that race, but I think could work out against this group with this mare. So, she hasn't won since her win here on June the 14th at Grand River, but she has finished second quite a few times at this level, mostly to If You Knew Susie, and she's not in here tonight. 3-5, obviously a really short price, but I think she does kind of look the best in here.
Number 3, Tater Tots, right now is 3-1 on the board. And Tater Tots is one that Paul McKenzie drives and trains. And Paul's done a lot of winning. He's had a large stable over the years where he's had some nice numbers over the years. His barn hasn't quite been flying yet this year. And Tater Tots is one of his winners, his 2 wins on the year. But Tater Tots, just a couple of wins this year, 2 last year, so 4 wins in 31 starts. Tater Tots is your second choice at 2-1.
Yeah, 2-1. I figured that she would take a lot of support in here. The class relief should help. Of course, she did get down to this level in her latest. But that was from post 9 at Georgian. So I kind of just crossed that line out, to be honest, as I usually do from those outside post positions. And, you look at the other two lines here at Grand River against Tougher, picking up a small share two back. And I think this is certainly more to her liking and a group that she should be able to perform well against. I think 2-1, is probably about the right price. I would have said maybe 5-2 is what you'd be looking for if you wanted to bet this one flat. Easily my second choice in the race, though.
I went to number 1, April Bandit. Nice earnings year last year. In fact, was consistently a top 3 finisher, 20 out of 26. Hasn't quite fired this year compared to her previous abilities, and she is really the class of this field. But inside post position, has gate speed. Scotty Coulter for Paul Coulter. I think April Bandit might be sitting on her best effort here. That last one, broken equipment at the finish and the start before it was here, post position 8. Before that, she flashed some speed. I think April Bandit might be one that's going to at least race her best in this spot, 3-2.
Yeah, the pole position is definitely going to help her. She does have speed off the gate when she does draw, inside, and it is utilized, and I think we'll certainly see it tonight. Now, the last time she raced here at, Grand River was that open 7 claimer she had post 8. That's then against If You Knew Susie and Dry Creek Image. She did finish second two starts ago at Grand River. So actually 4 starts ago on July the 12th, and finished second. But that was in a condition claimer race. So I think because of her post position, I did put her in the 3rd spot. Think she can maybe even make her way into the 2nd spot behind number 6 Dry Creek Image. I do think this is not an easy task just based on the classification.
There is 5 Midnight Surf. The value on the board right now, 14-1, had been off form, but that last race was a lot better here. Almost won, beaten just 3/4.
Yeah, she was actually, first over a long way in that one, and I thought that it was a decent effort, to finish second, only beating 3/4 of a length, and 10-1 on the board. You're right, she is the value on the board right now because you've got Tater Tots now getting the favoritism at 8-5, and this one's getting overlooked even at 8-1. I'd say is an overlay. I put the horse in for 4th, but I think she's got a chance, to certainly outperform that projection.
Well, right now we have the field of 6 moving in behind the gates. Your top pick, Rob, Dry Creek Image, is now 5-2, is 3 Tater Tots, the 8-5 favorite. I went with 1 April Bandit, who's now moved to 9-5. Interesting dash, a short field, the 7th race. We'll see how the 7th race unfolds. April Bandit, Edam's Trauma on the inside. Tater Tots and Heartbeat Sizzle in the center. On the outside, Midnight Surf, Dry Creek Image. It's a field of 6 for the 7th race. They're into the stretch, gathering speed. They're at the start of the rough. April Bandit from the inside. Tater Tots is leaving, and Dry Creek Image on the outside. Edam's Trauma. April Bandit using that turn advantage now and has the lead. Edam's Trauma is there in the pocket. Tater Tots is caught on the outside and still pressing on. And then Dry Creek Image, and then that is back to Heartbeat and Sizzle at Midnight Surf. Tater Tots is able to come on and take the lead. April Bandit is going to yield the lead and race the pocket right now. Edam's Trauma is 3rd. Then Dry Creek Image is racing position 4th. Then Heartbeat and Sizzle and Midnight Surf. Tater Tots has got the lead. Tater Tots doing the work on top. 28 seconds the opening quarter. April Bandit is racing in the pocket. Edam's Trauma is position 3rd. Dry Creek Image now is going to come first over as they race off the turn. Then Heartbeat and Sizzle. Midnight Surf is trailing the field. Tater Tots and Paul McKenzie has got the lead. Dry Creek Image is going to force the issue now. Moving up on the outside for Austin Sorey, half length off the lead. Halftime off that 28-second opening quarter is 57-4. And it is Tater Tots and Dry Creek Image going at it. April Bandit is enjoying watching that battle from right there 3rd, about a length and 3/4 off the lead. Edam's Trauma to the inside, Heartbeat and Sizzle to the outside, and then Midnight Surf has to surf past 5 to win. It is Tater Tots who's got the lead. Dry Creek Image on the outside is chipping away at that advantage, and April Bandit is still there to the inside 3rd and is a length and 3/4 back from the backfield. Midnight Surf is out 3 wide, and then Heartbeat and Sizzle, and then it is Edam's Trauma. It is Tater Tots as the field is reaching for the top of the stretch. Tater Tots and Dry Creek Image. Midnight Surf on the outside. April Bandit is looking for the passing lane, and then Heartbeat and Sizzle. They turn on down the lane. Tater Tots April Bandit firing to the inside, to the outside. Midnight Surf, and Brent McDonald. Midnight Surf, Brent McDonald gets his 1,000th driving win. It's close between Tater and Shots and Dry Creek Image, and then on the inside, April Bandit, 157-4. Midnight Surf and Smilin' Brent McDonald, 1,000 driving wins, and he had to do a nice job of driving to get the job done.
Definitely, it was a nice steer there by Brett McDonald. What a milestone, 1,000 wins for Brett. And, we talked about this horse, Gary, as being the value in the group. And it's, hard to believe it. Just 6-horse field, this horse goes off at 8-1 on the board. The last effort was a solid one to finish second, beating just 3/4 of a length after going a difficult trip. And, tonight, a little bit of action up front for this one to chase. And she comes around the mall in the stretch for Brett to achieve his 1,000th career driving win.
I guess the reason for the 8-1 is even though that last race was good, the form before that was a little bit questionable. Although even if you look at that 1-2 back, was 8th at the quarter and 8th at the half, did close 6th beaten 2 1/4, so the 6th jumps out when you look at it because below that is a 7 and a 9 and a 6 and a 5 and an 8 and a 7. A lot of numbers you don't like, but Midnight Surf gets a nice number here, a number 1, and an even nicer number for Brett McDonald, 1,000.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen him, have a great season here at Grand River Raceway, and it's fantastic to see him achieve that milestone. 1,000 wins. I wish I could do something 1,000 times successful.
I'm trying to do one thing successful once. 5631 is on the board. Midnight Surf, a 5-year-old Sunshine Beach Bay mare, owned by ECS Racing, trained by Todd Ratchford. It's the first win this year, 4th lifetime. $1,000 driving wins for Brent McDonald. And out to trackside for the presentation, the boss, Jamie Martin. The 7th race payouts, number 5, Midnight Surf, 1880, 630, and 310. 6, Dry Creek Image, 410, 283, Tater Tots, 220. Dollar pick 3 is 68.30. $2 exactor, $48.60 try, $99.60 super, $288.50. The seventh race, order finish from the top, 463-512. That's 463-512.
All right. Well, congrats to Brett McDonald on 1,000 career driving victories, an incredible milestone. But we now have to turn our attention to race 8, and it's our second of 2 preferreds on the card. This is a preferred 2, and we've got 7 horses going postward on the pace for horses and geldings. And I went to number 5, Pro Beach. And guess what? Mr. 1000, Brett McDonald at the controls for Richard Moreau. Pro Beach. The Gail Murray Invitational at Hanover last time, and I thought raced pretty well to finish third. Before that was a real nice pumped up winner at Georgian Downs and non-winners of 48.50 last 3, and really hasn't done too much wrong in his last 3 starts. And this is a a classy veteran that has over 200,000 made, just 11 lifetime wins, but I think he might be sitting on another one today because I like the direction this one is trending in. 9-5 on the board, though. Yikes. Was hoping for a better price than that one on number 5, Pro Beach. And for second, number 6, Brody Scrapper. Well, he's no stranger to the winner's circle. He's 10 years old, 38 lifetime wins, over 300,000 in the bank. And, he's got some victories over this oval, that's for sure, including, 2 earlier this season, back-to-back weeks in June. The Brody Scrappers, when you've got to give some respect to in here, and 7-1, he's not getting any right now. He deserves to be a lower price than that. Then I went to number 4, Brave World. Last time finished second in the preferred 2 over at Georgian Downs to Brody Scrapper. And I think this one is another that's trending in the right direction. Came back north of the border on July the 12th here at Grand River, finished 4th. And since then has been no worse than 4th in his last 3 starts. So Brave World is one that I think, is certainly been racing better and does deserve a little bit of respect in here as well. 5-2 on the board, 30 lifetime wins for that one, over 300,000 in the bank. And then I went to number 7, B2B. Well, this one has to deal with that outside post, which is not an easy task, that is for sure. Did have some nice wins over Georgian Downs. If you go back 4 or 5 starts back, and I think is one that, if he can get into the race, he's got a big chance here. I see that Gary did go to this one on top. I just kind of struggle with how he gets into the race. I'm not sure he's going to be able to really leave out around these ones from post 7. And, even in coming from out of it, I'm not sure how that works out. So it'll be interesting to see the makeup of this race. Maybe we see B2B fire off the gate. If he does, then, my projection of finishing 4th might be a little bit off. But I'm going to stick with number 5, Pro Beach. I think he's one that's raced really well as of late. Brett McDonald drove him to a nice victory 2 back at Georgian Downs. I think we might see something similar tonight. This horse can get off the gate when when speed needs to be utilized, and I think we might see that this evening. All right, so that's the way I see race number 8, but we'll come back and talk about it further with Gary Guy after the post parade.
Field for the 8th race on parade. 1 is YS Lotus, Nick Boyd for Tom Riley and Amanda Riley. Number 2, Play Jet Ray, Chair Plot for Julie Robinson and Klein Racing. Number 3, JJ Powerball Austin Sorry for Tammy Collins. Number 4 is Brave World, Travis Henry for Harry Polton and the stable. 5 is Pro Beach, Brad McDonough for Richard Morrow and Sylvain Deschenaux and Gar Racing and Gaston Pipo. And 6 Brody's Scrapper, Travis Cullen for Rachel Andrew. And number 7 is B2B, Scotty Coulter for Craig Gilmore and ICL Racing of Pefferlaw. Field of 7, race number 8. And Rob, I think this is a very wide open dash. In fact, the tote board shows you that with the longest shot on the board at 10-1, 6 Brody's Scrapper. And that's my second choice. This is a fine field to try to handicap. And you went on top to number 5, Pro Beach, one that I've liked in the past. And Pro Beach, you get Brett McDonald hot off the 1,000th win. And you do mention that this one seems to be going in the right direction. Of course, that mile at Georgian Downs, 52-4 2 races ago. But that was against a softer than this bunch. She is by quite a bit. But Pro Beach is one with a lot of back class.
Yeah, definitely. I think so. And, I think you're right, Gary. This is a contentious field, and I certainly wouldn't want to take too short of a price on anyone in here. I think 5-2 in Pro Beach is the appropriate number, though. And 2 starts back, I thought it was a real nice win. And last time that was a pretty tough field in the Gail Murray Invitational, and this one finished third and kind of shook loose late to do so. I think that, coming back with a similar effort to that one, or even the one before that, 52-4 score over Georgian Downs, might put him in the winner's circle today. But I'm definitely in agreement that this is a much tougher field than it looks.
Number 6, Brody Scrapper, is one that I wanted to take on top, and I might regret it. 38 lifetime wins. The most recent wins, the 2 most recent one, that one at Georgian Downs, 51. The preferred 2 class there. And then also here in the middle of June, raced really well to win here by a couple of lengths and circled up 3 wide from off the pace and then won by 2 lengths at 53-1. That was a fine effort as well.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised 12-1 on the board right now on Brody Scrapper. Maybe it's the most recent effort people are shying away from. Tough trip, though, and that one, when he races here at Grand River, he usually, does pretty well. And listen, this is a classy veteran that can step up on any given night. And, this is a field of 7 that I think he fits well with, and certainly better than the 11-1 he offers on the board right now.
Well, the reason why I also wanted to jump on is I like to jump on when others are jumping off, and people have jumped off 11-1. They might regret it. Number 4, Brave World, and Travis Henry is coming in off of a very good second to Brody Scrapper, July the 27th at Georgian Downs.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, though, isn't it? 2-1 on Brave World and 12-1 on Brody Scrapper. I would say that, that's a pretty big margin between the two when Brody Scrapper just beat Brave World. I think Brave World's one that's trending in the right direction, so I certainly don't fault people for getting behind this one. I like those efforts. The one here at Grand River in the preferred 2 handicap on July the 12th was one that kind of just was, sit an inside trip and, finished pretty well on the end of it to end up claiming the 4th spot, but has gotten better since then. So I think that if you're looking for one that's moving in the right direction, maybe it's Brave World, but I'll be honest, 2-1, the price is too short for me.
Number 7, B2B, gives me a bit of a price, and that's because of the post position. But to B2B, I will say I am concerned how he gets into the race. But in the end, I just decided, right now, I think B2B is the best horse of this bunch from what I've seen this year. Not talking about back class, just right now. Post 7, though, I get 6-1.
Yeah, I know those efforts that he won earlier in the season, back in June. He beat Pedro Hanover, Outlaw Grabbing Gears, Royal Renegade. And then you look at some of those defeats. They came against Mikey Camden, Bulldog Hanover, Pedro Hanover. Those are pretty nice horses. So I think you're only getting that price because of the outside post. Again, I'm concerned how he gets into the race, but I will say that 6-1 is a much bigger price than I expected on number 7, B2B.
Field for the 8th race, taking up positions. YS Lotus, Play Jet Ray on the inside. JJ Powerball, Brave World, and Pro Beach in the center to the outside. Brody Scrapper, and B2B field of 7 for the 8th race. They're approaching the top of the stretch. Here they come. Giddy up. Field for the 8th race is in the stretch drive, gathering speed, nearing the start. There at the start of the rough. Brave World's going to leave out with YS Lotus, Playjet Ray, and JJ Powerball. YS Lotus uses that inside post advantage, and Playjet Ray is also driving as they work on around the turn. Then Brave World, JJ Powerball, Pro Beach and Brody Scrapper, and B2B. And now it's Playjet Ray, but there goes Brave World now coming on. Brave World is going to move on and come on and grab the lead. Playjet Ray races the pocket. YS Lotus is positioned to third, and then it is JJ Powerball and Pro Beach and Brody Scrapper and B2B. 27-3 is the opening quarter, and Brave World and Travis Henry's got the lead. Playjet Ray is playing second right now. YS Lotus on the inside third, and then JJ Powerball is going to move first over, giving cover to Pro Beach. Then it is Brody Scrapper and B2B. They race on past the half. Halftime was recorded in 56-3, and it is Brave World who's got the lead. Brave World, Playjet Ray plays the pocket. JJ Powerball is third. YS Lotus fourth, and then Pro Beach, and then it is back to Brody Scrapper, and B2B is trailing the field as they hustle their way on towards three quarters. Brave World is leading. There goes JJ Powerball up a little bit closer now, and Playjet Ray still playing in the pocket, and then it is Pro Beach who's now sent out three wide and is coming. Three quarters, 125-1. Then YS Lotus, Brody Scrapper, and B2B is still trailing the field. It is Brave World. Pro Beach is digging hard three wide. On the inside, Playjet Ray looks alive and waiting for the passing lane. And JJ Powerball and then B2B. They come on down the stretch drive. Brave World and up the inside. Playjet Ray flying is B2B. It's going to be Brave World when B2B is in a place photo with Playjet Ray. 153-2. Brave World gets the job done on a front-end bias and makes it hold up nicely.
Yeah, Brave World there, a horse that mentioned was trending in the right direction. I put this horse in for third, but I ended up floating back up to 3-1 on the odds board and just held off B2B at the wire. My biggest concern with B2B is how does the trip work out? Well, he had to race from way off the pace in a 7-horse field, and wow, was he ever flying late. He was airborne around the final turn and in the stretch. And, if this race is just a few steps further, this horse blows by to win with ease. But that was that close, Gary.
Yes. It's amazing when you see the slow motion how much he's coming through the picture while the others are in the center of the picture.
Yeah, I was actually thinking, well, was I wrong? Did he not get in that close? But then as we just go a little bit further down, we see him fly into it, and even in a slow-mo. Again, B2B, he draws inside against this group. I think it's a much different result.
Well, I don't mind. I just wanted to take the best horse, and I think from what we saw there that's the truth of the matter. But post position 7 is what beat him. But Brave World also beat him because Brave World was able to get out. Well, nice job by Travis Henry and Brave World. The fractions were honest in it. Still had to work a 56-3, mile of 53-2. That's a quick mile.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And it was, definitely a plan that came together. They had their eyes set on the front end. They got there, and it certainly played to this one's advantage. But you're right. It wasn't like he got to waltz through fractions. He went solid fractions throughout, and still paced a real nice mile on 53-2. And one to keep an eye on going forward. Like I said, been trending in the right direction in his last three, and continues to do so, finding the winner's circle today.
Well, we thought it was a pretty open race. The tote board told the story, and that is number 4, Brave World, in front of us. 7-year-old Royal Majesty Brown Gelding, owned by the stable, trained by Harry Polton. Travis Henry, Turk Henry, a winning drive for the 4th win on the year. 31st lifetime, Brave World, 153-2, a new season's best. Eighth race, payouts. Number 4, Brave World, 870 for 42.90. 7, B2B, 483.70. And 2, Playjet Ray, 340. $2 race actor, 52.50. Dollar try, 137.85. The dollar super, 272.20. Eighth race, or who finished from the top, 7351462. That's 7351462.
All right, folks. Well, time flies when you're having fun. It's already race 9. Just 2 dashes left on this card at Grand River Raceway, and it's time for the late double. It's your last multi-leg wager of the card, so get your wagers in for that one. And this one is for Horse and Gelding's condition claimer. Price tag is $15,000 for non-winners of $15,000 life on the pace. And well, right now, number 3, Grex King is taking all the support at 2 to 5. I actually don't have that one in my top 4. Oddly enough, I did go to number 9, Umpire Hanover. I looked for a price in here. Was not expecting 40 to 1. I'll tell you that. I was expecting more like 12 to 1, maybe 10 to 1. And number 9, Umpire Hanover. First time, back in the condition claiming ranks, and 2 back and non-winners of 2 at Georgian Downs. Finished 5th, beaten 5.5 to Shadow and Red. Well, Shadow and Red has now won 4 in a row. And 4 in a row in a big way, with his last couple coming at Mohawk Park in very strong fashion. So I think that, Umpire Hanover right now is a big overlay at 25 to 1. That is for sure. And, I think, I'll definitely have a win ticket on this one if that price was to ever hold up, because the last 2 were in a straight non-winners of 2. This is now a condition claimer. So it's the non-winners of 15,000 life, but for a price tag. Much easier spot for number 9, Umpire Hanover tonight, and I don't think he should be 25 to 1 on the board. And for second, I went to number 4, AJ Knight, right now at 3 to 1, taking support down from the morning line of 10 to 1. This one got a tough trip last time. First over a long way, stuck out there, faded to finish 5th in a race that High Flying Jamie was a winner. And really had to roll wide. The 2 starts before that, finished second, beaten only a neck in this class. 3 starts back. You get Colin Kelly in the bike tonight. I think AJ Knight's got a big chance to hit the ticket. That's why I slotted in for the second spot. Number 2, Chuck Heaton Love. This one has speed. We saw this one win from this post position in this class 3 starts ago. Went to the front, then ended up getting relegated to the 2-hole before coming back up the inside late to win by a head. Chuck Heaton Love is one that I think is a big-time speed threat in here, and at 7 to 1 on the board. Not one that you want to, leave off your tickets. Good post, early speed. Might see this one come up with a better effort tonight. I think 2 posts throw that one out last time at Georgian Downs. Tougher group of horses. Finished 7th. I'm willing to forgive that one as well. And for the 4th spot, number 5, Tradition. This is one that last time had to race from post 8. You know what I do for those ones? I just cross them right off the page, and then you look at a 3rd place finish and a win in this class. So Tradition is one that you have to consider at least underneath tonight. And, the price right now is right at 7 to 1. Brett McDonald just got his 1,000th victory 2 races ago, and might have a chance to get a big piece of it in here with number 5, Tradition. I don't have Grex King in my top 4. I have gone to this horse in the past without success, and it's a horse that I typically like to put on the ticket. But tonight I just couldn't get there. Last time got a favorable trip and could only muster a 5th place finish. But
we'll
who has
this one?
This race.
Did you see who has this one? Well, just take a look there. I see a little white.
Gary Guy has this one. Look at this. The voice of Gary Guy just booming through a little early tonight to tell me that he's got this one. Well, Gary, why do you have this one? Tell me before we go to the post parade.
Well, that last race, look, they went the half in 59-3, and then came the back half in 57-3. So even though he did pace of 56-4 back half, couldn't close enough off of that. I think the pace scenario didn't set up, and yet he closed to being only beaten a length and a quarter with a good back half, and gets a good post position. I thought Grex King off that last race, I thought that was a really good last dash.
Well, there you have it, folks. You know what? Gary is the only one to put this one in their top 3 or 4, and he just came booming through there, so we know he must love this one. We're going to have to ask him after the post parade if this one's going to be a Gary Guy guarantee.
Field for the ninth on Parade 1. Joe Rockhead Talbot for Mike Salas. Number 2, Chuck Heaton Love. Nick Stewart for Caleb Stevens and Nicole Loeffler. And 3 is Grug Rux King, Travis Henry for Jeremy Brewer and Jack Racing Stable. 4 is AJ Knight, Colin Kelly for Greg Campbell and Angelo DeLellis. 5, Tradition, Brian McDonough for Nicky Comegna and Bruno Comegna. And 6, River Dally, Chaldamore for Heather Pickett and Mike Hart. Number 7, Fast is Phelps, Natasha Day for Sean Hyatt and Dave Simpson and Michelle Sherman. There is 9, Umpire Hanover, Paul McKenzie for Gord Remen. 8 is scratched. It's a field of 8 for the 9th race. Starts the late daily double. Let's get a look at this field. First, we're going to take a look at number 9, Umpire Hanover, who is currently 8-1 on the board. At number 9, Umpire Hanover, Paul McKenzie for Gord Remen. Now, you mentioned the class drop, Rob, and also really the speed wasn't bad at Georgian Downs when you relate this one to racing with this group. Umpire Hanover, the key will be the trip. Do you see the one, Joe Rockhead? Is that where you expect there to be some gate speed? Chuck Heaton Love also leaves.
I think Chuck Heaton Love's probably the more likely big-time leaver, but Joe Rockhead might be able to leave. He's left before from this pole position spot. You know, this horse looks good on the track right now, number 9, Umpire Hanover, and this is a monumental drop in class. You want to talk about, classification, an open non-winners of 2 to now a, claiming $15,000 for non-winners of 15,000 life. That is a big-time drop in class, and 7-1 looks a little more appropriate to what the odds should be on this horse than that 40-1 that he opened off at. So I think Umpire Hanover's got a big chance in here. Now 7-2. The more we talk about him, Gary, the lower the price goes.
You're driving the price down, and now that people know that I like the 3 in here, you notice his price is starting to come up a little bit. Travis Henry driving, and I mentioned I like that last race. I also like horses that race against the bias of course, the pace scenario and the track, and yet are able to close when you don't think it really lays out well for them. Now we'll leave out a post position 3 I think can be forwardly placed. And Grugrex King, I don't like the price of 2-1, but I think also fits well here. And you do see some speed in spots. Looking at when you look further down the card, you see some flashes of some nice speed. Grugrex King getting a lot of love at 2-1.
Yeah, he's taking a lot of support for sure. He's a tough one for me. He hasn't raced since, July 19th, and, that's not, I guess, too far off, but he's just been a difficult one for me to get a beat on. I've picked this one before. I've even put him on top over at Mohawk Park in the Horse Players Journal, and it hasn't worked out for me, and I certainly, I hear your case for him, and it makes me kind of reconsider me not using him in my top 4. But at the same time, I've had a difficult time with this one in the past. He's one that I can never guess right on, so maybe that's going to work in your favor tonight.
Number 4, AJ Knight is 8-1 on the board, and your second selection. We had to sneak in the 3 there. For AJ Knight and Colin Kelly, doesn't have a win yet this year, but came close a couple of times. One here and one at Dresden back just about a little more than a month ago.
Yeah, I think this one's got some ability for sure, and it's got a lot of overland trips, and I usually like that in a horse that they go a lot of, more difficult trips and still can get pieces of it. He hasn't found the winner's circle yet. Picks up Colin Kelly tonight, and it's certainly never a bad angle to play a horse when Colin jumps aboard. 9-1 on the board, I think it's a big-time overlay on this one, that's for sure. Earlier we were getting the overlay on the 9 Umpire Hanover. Now I think the overlay shifted to number 4, AJ Knight. Maybe this one doesn't get his picture taken tonight, but I think he can hit the ticket.
One that seems like really nice value, actually, I think is number 2, Chuck Heaton Love, because Chuck Heaton Love could get to the front, and that has played out really well here. Got to the front July the 19th and was able to go all the way, win by a head in this class in 57-1. The last 2, one the trailer post and the other one post 6 when he didn't leave. He could have a different outing, 5-1.
Yeah, last time he got his nose on the gate at this level, he was a winner, right? So really, 3-1 now as we talk about horses, the prices drop as usual, Gary. But look, Chuck Heaton Love is a good pace scenario horse. I think he should be forwardly placed off the gate tonight. We've seen, front end speed hold up well tonight, as it has been for a while here at Grand River. And I think if he does get away well, he could be tough to catch. 3-1 on the board now is certainly not as appealing as the price was a moment ago, but he's certainly not out of it in here, that's for sure.
Number 5, Tradition, is one that's getting a lot of love at 2-1. That last race, it's post 8, and maybe you can just stroke it out. Certainly good, the 2 previous ones.
Yeah, that's what I kind of did with this one. I said, okay, post 8 last time, we'll cross that one out. He even took support down at 12-1, which many don't do from that 8-hole. Finished third, 2 starts back, was a winner at this level, 3 back. Brett McDonald on the bike. I can't fault him for betting it, but 2-1 on the board. Too short of a price for me.
It's a field of 8 for race number 9. Taking up their positions, Joe Rockhead, Shock Eaton Love, and Krugerux King. In the center, Age of Night Tradition to the outside, River Dally and Fast as Phelps, and the second tier, Umpire Hanover. It's a field of 8 for the 9th dash. Starts the late daily double. Here they come. They're at the start of the rough, and Shock Eaton Love is going to fire early. Joe Rockhead, A.J. Knight, Umpire Hanover's along to the inside as the field works around the turn. Then it is Krugerux King and Tradition. Now Tradition takes 5th. Krugerux King is 6th away. Then River Dally and Fast as Phelps. But right now it is Shock Eaton Love who's got a lead of a couple of lengths. Joe Rockhead at 25-1 is out to race from second. Then A.J. Knight and Umpire Hanover is 4th in the early going. Then Tradition, Krugerux King is now going to angle to the outside. Then it is River Dally and Fast as Phelps, and they work on around the turn. 28-1's the opening quarter. And now popping out from third comes A.J. Knight, and it is Shock Eaton Love. A.J. Knight's working on the outside. Also coming to the outside is Umpire Hanover, picking up a second of her trip, and down to the inside as they race off the turn is Joe Rockhead, and then it is back to Tradition and Krugerux King getting urging on the outside, but gapped in the cover, and then it is back to River Dally and Fast as Phelps. 57-4 the halftime. Shock Eaton Love has the lead, trying to fend off A.J. Knight, who's driving hard on the outside. Shock Eaton Love and A.J. Knight are going at it. Umpire Hanover at 3-1 now is moving up and is a little closer and is a length and a half back. And then it is Joe Rockhead and Tradition. Then it is Fast as Phelps and Krugerux King and River Dally. They race their way on to 3/4. Shock Eaton Love. Shock Eaton Love and A.J. Knight. And now Tradition looks alive and drops down to the inside to save some ground on the turn. 3/4, 126-3. And then it is back to Umpire Hanover. Fast as Phelps and River Dally. And Joe Rockhead, they turn for home. A.J. Knight has got the lead. A.J. Knight, but here comes Umpire Hanover. Or rather, that is Tradition. It's Tradition on the outside. A.J. Knight on the inside. Shock Eaton Love. Shock Eaton Love appeared to hold on. Tradition to the outside. And in the center, A.J. Knight 157-4. Shock Eaton Love at 2-1 made the lead and then made it hold up.
Yeah, that was a gritty effort right there from Shock Eaton Love, too. It looks like he's going to be third at the head of the stretch and somehow just fights back to get the victory there. It's wow, certainly looks like he does have it at the wire. And I thought Brett McDonald, he gave number 5 Tradition a slick steer. He went down to the inside, saved ground, and then moved out to the outside of the top of the turn there. And I thought he was going to cruise right on by, but it doesn't think he ever did get there. Shock Eaton Love looking to hang on the inside. 3 horses across at the wire, Gary.
Well, the announcer said the 2 won it, but don't trust him. He's kind of a wingnut. So let's take a look here at the finish. Oh, well, even a broken clock is right.
Yeah. Dead on.
Well, even a broken clock is right twice a day, but we got Shock Eaton Love in front.
Well, Shock Eaton Love was the one that we did talk about as a pace scenario horse, and he certainly had it tonight, right? He went to the front end, and very similar. We've seen this movie before. 3 starts to go from post 2 into the front. and did the same thing. Got swarmed by horses and came back, on to win it by a head. And Tradition finishing second. AJ Knight was one of the price horses I liked in there. Real nice effort from that one. First over a long way. I wanted to see that one handled aggressively tonight. Colin Kelly did that. He tried to win the race, ended up finishing third. Shot for the moon, landed in the stars.
Umpire Hanover looked good for a piece, we're still digging until into the stretch, but just dropped out of it. But it was not a bad effort. You know who didn't race well at all? 3.
Well, I think might have been Gary Guy's horse in there. And, listen, Grugak's King, you started to sell me on him, I'll be honest. You really did. One that I can never guess right on, and that made me think, you know what, maybe Gary's got something here. Didn't work out tonight, though, for Grugak's King.
Well, we both took a flyer and we were both wrong. The pace scenario, the horse that went to the front was the one that got the job done. It's a number 2, Chuck Heaton Love, and a 4-year-old sports writer, Big Gelding, owned by Nicole Loeffler, trained by Caleb Stevens. Nick Stewart, the winning driver. It's the 3rd win this year, 7th lifetime. Chuck Heaton Love, 157-4. Ninth race payouts to Chuck Heaton Love. 650, 460, 280. 5 Tradition, 473, 20. 4 AJ Knight, 340. $2 exactor, 32.10. Dollar try, 63.95. The dollar super, 271.60.
All right, folks. Well, it's time to take a look at the final dash of the evening. Race number 10, Filly Mares Now winners of 25,000 lifetime. It's the money leg of the pick four, and they're paying fantastic, actually. So good luck if you are still alive in that wager. And this one, I did go to number 2, Bet You Love Me. 6-1 on the board right now on this filly. And, well, 2 starts back. Now winners of 35,000 life. A little bit tougher than this one. Went to the front from the 3 hole and almost went all the way. Got beat by a head by Carnival Heart at the end of it, who I wouldn't mind betting Carnival Heart in here. And Share the Moment finished third in that contest. So, Bet You Love Me is one that I think we'll see, sent to the lead, I would certainly think, off the wings of the gate. And should get every chance to try to either sit a trip or cut it out herself. I see that Gary does agree with me on this one, using Bet You Love Me on top. And for second, which is number 1, the King's Queen. Well, last 2 starts in the OSS Grassroots, maybe a little bit too tough for this one. Post 8 last time. Did make up some ground late, improved some positions on a track that was very difficult to improve positions on Industry Day here at Grand River. Speed favoring a track that didn't really allow for anyone to close an inch. This one did, close a few positions and still finished 5th. But I think the King's Queen with the pole position tonight should get every chance from Austin Sori in the bike for Ken Switzer. And I like that one in the second spot. Number 6, Ceaseless, is one that, George and Downs racing in non-winners of 3 last time. Much tougher than this group. High Roller Duke was a winner in that one. And, I actually toyed with putting this one on top tonight. Non-winners at 2 back. George and Downs was a real nice winner. And has been, racing well, this season to hit the board in 4 of 7, 2 wins at those starts, and 10-1 on the board is a pretty big price right now on number 6, Ceaseless. Number 9, Turning the Table. Went to the Jody Cullen barn, 2 starts back, finished 4th from the 8 hole, first time for that outfit, but then came back to win nicely in a condition claimer last time from post 4, made every call a winning one at 5-1. Now gets a trailing post here tonight behind a couple of horses that should leave off the gate, so shouldn't be too far out of it, I wouldn't think. Off the wings of the gate. 8-1 on the board. Turning the Tables, a pretty nice price at the moment. And then in the 4th spot, I went to number 7, Twinbee Beach Dreams. Moving up in class. Numbers of 15,000 last time. Won from the 4 hole. Won by 5 lengths and did it really easy. 4-1 on the board tonight. Probably too short of a price for me at that number. And also, obviously, the post is going to be difficult. Right now, all the money's going number 3, Dazzle and Rosie, who oddly enough is 3 out of 4 in the pick 4 and paying really big in the double as well. One of the longest shots on the board in the double, but taking lots of support right now. Ross Batten trains this one and drives this one. He's currently sitting at 4,998 career victories. So, Dazzle and Rosie right now 2-1 on the board. Certainly a short price, but has been racing relatively well, getting a win last time at Clinton, and 2 starts ago, finishing second there as well. So, Dazzle and Rosie, though, down to 8-5 now, taking all the action here in the last so far. But we'll come back and take a further look at this race with Gary Guy after the post break.
Field for the 10th on parade. 1, the King's Queen, Austin Sori for Ken Switzer and Harness Horsepower. Number 2, Bet You Love Me, Anthony Hunt for Jeffrey Williamson and Rebecca Williamson and Connie McTaggart. And number 3, Dazzle and Rosie, Ross Batten for Dr. Paul Rutherford. 4 is Ms. Megan Sparkle, Chaldamore for Mark McCormick and Megan McCormick. Number 5 is Rose Run Vigilant, Scott Calder for Chris Kane. Number 6, Ceaseless. Colin Kelly for Lacey McCabe and Glenview Livestock Limited. And Cheryl Sherry. And number 7, Twin B Beach Dreams. Brent McDonough for Shane Barrington and Katrina Barrington. 8 is scratched. 9 is turning the table. Travis Cullen for Jody Cullen and Ron Cullen. Field of 8, the 10th and final dash featuring the Super High 5. Let's get a look at this field. And the first one we'll look at is number 2, Bet You'll Love Me. And Rob, maybe one of the most important handicapping things right now, the way the track is playing out, is figure out who's going to make the lead, because then you've got a big chance to have the possible winner. I think the lead goes to Bet You Love Me. How do you see it?
Yeah, I see the same way, Gary. That's why I went to this one on top. Post 2 and early speed. We saw, this one already go to the lead from post 3. 2 starts back in a more difficult race than she faces tonight. She only got picked up by a head in the wire to Carnival Heart. I might bet Carnival Heart in here, and I certainly would bet Share the Moment in here. So, Bet You Love Me, I think right now at 2-1. Surprised this one isn't getting bet down to favoritism. I do think you have it right, and hopefully I do too, with this one being the pace setter.
And Jeffrey Williamson's barn has won at just under 20% clip with 63 starters this year. The King's Queen, you went to this one second. I only used this one for fourth, but yet this one really did put in a pretty good middle half last time out on Industry Day. And as you mentioned, hard to close, but post position 8 now gets the inside and likely to be forwardly placed, could be a trip horse.
Yeah, I think so too. The last 2 from the outside post, or actually 3 from outside post, you got to just kind of give this one some leeway on those efforts, and see that one get away decently from better posts, and got the lead from the 2-hole at Georgian Downs. So I think we'll see this one push out as well. And I kind of looked at this race as how the lineup might be 2-1 or 1-2, and that's why I picked them in that order, with the 2 being on top. Bet You Love Me, and then the King's Queen in for second.
I'll tell you right now, if you could freeze the odds board and I could bet whoever I wanted, I'd bet number 6 Ceaseless at 22-1.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all, Gary. It's one that's a little bit surprising to me, 23-1 on the board. And, I toyed with putting this one on top. I thought Ceaseless would be more like 5-1 or 6-1. 23-1 is a huge number. 2 starts ago, that was a real nice effort from number 6 Ceaseless. That was in non-winners of 2 over at Georgian Downs. Yes, this is maybe a little bit tougher than that one, but I think it's easier than what he faced last time, or what she faced last time in non-winners of 3. So Ceaseless will be all over my exotic tickets, and 24-1 might be worth a win wager as well.
Well, Lacey McCabe has put up some serious numbers this year, and Colin Kelly sports a 322 driving average as well, and threw a lot of drives. There is a number. Well, let's talk quickly about 9, Turning the Table. The only question I had about the trip, but we think the inside horses are leaving. Turning the Table, even though it's a step up in class, 54-4 last race at Georgian, I think suggests that Turning the Table belongs with this group and on the ticket.
Yeah, I think this one, is, turn the tables for Jody Cullen, because, some of these efforts were a little bit underwhelming, that's for sure, for turning the table this season, but then came back with a real nice win last time, and 2 starts back didn't race poorly in their first start for this barn. So I think this filly, is trending in the right direction. 13-1, gets to follow it a couple of speeches on the inside, should get spotted well by Travis Cullen. I put this horse in the 4th spot, would not fault anyone for using this horse anywhere in the exotics.
I'll be really interested to see how well 7 Twin B Beach Dreams races, because she looked extremely sharp last time out. Steps up, tougher post, but certainly shows some. That last race was good.
Yeah, the post is just a concern for me. Obviously moving up a little bit in class, but that was done so easily. Won by 5 lengths on that night, and like I said, did it really well. Post 7, 14-1. The price is right tonight. The post for me, though, is what deterred me.
And number 3, Dazzlin' Rosie, is still sitting as the favorite at 7-5 on the board. It is a field of 8 taking up positions. It'll be the King's Queen, Bet You Love Me, on the inside with Dazzlin' Rosie. In the center, Ms. Megan Sparkle and Rose Run Vigilant. To the outside, Ceaseless, Twin B Beach Dreams, and the second tier, Turning the Table. Field for the 10th race. Into the stretch drive, gathering speed. There at the start of the rough, Bet You Love Me will leave hard with the King's Queen and Ms. Megan Sparkle and Dazzlin' Rosie. And then turning the table from the second tier, but it's the King's Queen who's got the lead right now, still driving his Bet You Love Me. Ms. Megan Sparkle is 3 wide, and turning the table is on the inside, and racing forth his Bet You Love Me is trying to rush up and grab the lead from the King's Queen. Bet You Love Me leads it by a length and a quarter. The King's Queen on the inside. Bet You Love Me still hasn't cleared to the lead, and now clears past the opening quarter at 28-1. The King's Queen is right there close to the pocket. Ms. Megan Sparkle third, turning the table, is racing forth, and then it is Dazzlin' Rosie. Ceaseless now starts to work hard to the outside, and then it is back to Rose Run Vigilant, and then it is back further to Twin B Beach Dreams as the field races the way off the turn and they go on towards us. It is Bet You Love Me and Anthony Hahn who's got the lead. The King's Queen on the inside. Here comes turning the table now, is moving up first over, and Ceaseless follows turning the table on the outside. Ms. Megan Sparkle is fifth, 58-2 as the halftime. Twin B Beach Dreams, and then it is back to Dazzlin' Rosie, and then Rose Run Vigilant. It is turning the table, who's now thrown down the gauntlet to Bet You Love Me as they stride together on the backstretch of a 58-2 halftime. Turning the table, and Travis Cullen to the outside has come on to take a lead of about a length, now a length and a quarter, and is going to clear to the front. Bet You Love Me is second. The King's Queen to the outside is racing third and now moves up and is going to grab second. Bet You Love Me is third, and then Miss Megan Sparkle and Ceaseless, and then Twin B Beach Dreams and Dazzlin' Rosie. 3/4 126-2, and turning the table as they come on down the stretch drive is well in command. Turning the table, turns out the lights in the 10th race on this field, and then the battle for second. Bet You Love Me fought back to get second, and then it was the King's Queen and Ms. Megan Sparkle won 55-2. Turning the table was turning it on in the lane. Rob, that was impressive by Travis Cullen.
Oh, definitely, Gary. This horse went by them and just opened up, and that's a huge effort for number 9 turning the table tonight. That is for certain. 155-2, and we said beforehand, that this one's really kind of moved trending in the right direction after getting off to a pretty rough start on the season. Did get a victory on June 15th, but then really underwhelming victories after that until going to the Jody Cullen barn. Turned it around with a better effort. 2 starts back. One last time, and then builds on that effort to even win by a bigger margin this time around. Now in an open non-winners 25,000 life.
Fans, also note the inquiry sound will go up pertaining to number 3 Dazzlin' Rosie and a possible pylon violation past the half. I thought one of the keys with 9 turning the table, if you're going to like this one, is just looking at that last race. The speed was enough to think that this Bettor's Delight filly would translate well to this group, and also improving with Jody Cullen.
Yeah, definitely. If you thought this one was going to keep moving forward, you could play this one in here. I put the horse in for 4th, and the reason why I thought she did have a big chance, if I liked the 2 and the 1 in the first 2 spots, well, I got to like the 9 then, right? But I did see her going first over and blowing them away like that. Bet You Love Me raced well to finish second, and the King's Queen raced well to finish third. They were just in a different time zone tonight.
And then we had Ms. Megan Sparkle and Dazzlin' Rosie, who took a lot of money, actually finished 5th, although the inquiry does pertain to the 3 Dazzlin' Rosie. But inside post plus the trailer post, who was able to get out well because of inside speed, was how you can look at this 10th race. But you get 8-1 on turning the table. You got to like that price, Rob.
Oh, definitely. This horse ended up being a bit of the value in the race, and we talked about it earlier in the previous high 5. That one was the inside 5 post positions. Well, this one's the inside 4 plus the trail, like you just mentioned, Gary. So just kind of further proves that you've got to use those inside post positions here at Grand River Raceway.
Back in front of us, the winner of the 10th race, 9 turning the table. A 3-year-old Bettor's Delight Bay filly, owned by Travis Cullen and Ron Cullen. Jody Cullen is the trainer. Travis Cullen's the winning driver. 3rd win this year, 3rd lifetime turning the table. 155-2. Fans note the judge's ruling that number 3, Dazzlin' Rosie, did not violate the pylon regulations and will stand 5th. The 10th race Payouts 9. Turning the table, 1840. A 20 and $4 and 2. Bet You Love Me for 40 and 280 and 1. The King's Queen 290. $2 exactor 47.30. The dollar try $91. The double is 80.30. The dollar win for 4 of 4. 1955.65. Dollar high five $884. The 10th race order finish from the top is a 325-487-6 scratch 1. That's 325-487-6 scratch 1. Well, fans, that does conclude the live harness racing program for this Monday evening. Racing action will resume this Wednesday night with a first race post time of 6:30 p.m. Buenas noches, amigos. Good night, everybody. Good night, Christine.
Good night, Gary.
Good night, Robert. Team player.